Hey, this is Crow Inquisitors. We are back with another session. This is episode 44, with the new ordering system that we've done. For a while there, we were like counting only the episodes where like everybody was there and had all these like weird side story episodes numbers. But I went back through and I was like, this is too far. I have to number these correctly when I do the podcasts of this. And I literally went through and renamed all of the episodes so they're in proper episode number, and then made like a disclaimer in the episode. Like, we will probably say this is the wrong episode number, but this is the right one in the text.
So whenever you name this show so that it implies, I mean, the Crow Inquisitors are gone. The Inquisition's basically gone.
The Inquisition isn't gone. It's just doing a different thing now.
I mean, I guess not
but
gone, just not
the conceit of Crow
us.
Inquisitors as the title has been since season 2. We shift it to mean something different every season now. The Crow Inquisitors now are the Demon Hunters. It's Cantarius and Theo and Antonius.
But is that
they
true?
Are the Crow Inquisitors.
Is that what they call themselves?
I don't know. Is that what you call yourselves, Connor?
If it's not, our title doesn't make sense, so no pressure.
Do we call ourselves the Crow Inquisitors?
We're not all about labels, so.
Yeah, I mean, I always assume that like the game calls us like the not the game, like we are the representation of what the Crow Inquisitors are currently, but like, no, I don't think we call it, like, from the three of us, like none of us are going to be like, we should call ourselves something.
Right.
Like,
well,
maybe
it's this,
but still not.
I was going to say,
lame.
Let's say that Gorath named you guys the Crow Inquisitors.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Right.
But none of us are going to like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as long as we know that that's who you are.
Yeah.
You're muted, I think. Sure. Connor, you like cut off there in the middle of what you were saying, and suddenly we couldn't hear you anymore.
Wah, wah, wah.
I'm not sure what happened.
You lift your mic up too high and it muted itself. Oh, no, you're not using that one. Never mind.
The audience is what calls us the Crow Inquisitors.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. That was the idea anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just giving you a hard time. Do character stuff?
Yes, that's what I was. Well, Connor's usually the one we start with, but
yeah. Oh, I guess.
Were you saying something?
There you go.
There you go. We can hear you now. For when you were in the middle of saying the thing you were saying, you just like suddenly cut off mid sentence, and we couldn't hear you anymore.
Yeah.
But now we can.
I was installing some software for my headphones, and it was like changed to the software. It was like trying to input through the software, and I was like, "What just happened?"
That makes sense.
What was I saying?
We were talking about Gorath changing the name of the Crow Inquisitors, I think, and
no, I don't think any of us would continue that.
Yeah.
Like none of us are going to continue calling ourselves that. It's just something Gorath says.
In spirit.
Yeah,
continued in spirit.
Right, that's what I was thinking. Like, people kind of identify as that, even though we don't call ourselves that. It's just kind of like, it just stuck, almost like a nickname or something. Like, well, I didn't start
that
it,
makes way more sense.
People just call us that to identify us, I suppose.
Yeah. All right, cool. So let's jump into beliefs and instincts and then get rolling here. Cantarius.
The demon is here in Lucerta and must be stopped. I will recruit Dellon to this cause. This world is more than blood and gold. I will increase my skill in the intellectual discipline. We are about to reveal ourselves in church territory. I will protect my friends from harm. And then instincts, always be on the lookout for the bonds that tie demons to the physical world. I'm not sure if I want to change this too, but I think I'm going to keep it for now. Always redeem those who repent. I'm just not exactly sure how that will look now, but I think it'll look the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I definitely think we should keep that one, because that seems like part of the shift that happened at the end of season 3, away from your moral high ground towards like actually trying to get in the dirt with people and make them better.
It's actually the other way around, because I no longer see myself as a role model to look up to in order to do that.
Okay.
So that's why I'm like, I'm on the fence about that, but I'll keep it for now.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's like always offer redemption or always offer forgiveness It's not
I wonder if redeem, because redeem sort of implies that you have a moral high ground to work from. So maybe it's a different word now, but the same sort of.
Because I think the sentiment still is true about Cantarius, but this one is definitely always offer forgiveness to those who repent. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I like that.
So always offer forgiveness to those who repent. And then the third one, instead of never let relentless evil roam free, it has changed to always hunting demons.
You should change that one belief to say, I'm going to protect my friends for today so that you can complete it.
I think it's implied that, like, while we're in this,
if there's something I learned about beliefs, it's that they're not implied and that you have to write it.
Protect my friends from harm today.
There you go. All right.
He was freaking stupid. Just have mercy on me. You know what I mean?
He fails like that day.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta wait until...
And then we end the session at 11:59 p.m.
I think something went wrong and I muted the wrong thing. What was your last instinct for the stream? I cut you off.
Always hunting demons.
It's an instinct.
I don't think it is. I think it would be always be on the hunt for demons, like in the sense that it's something you're doing instinctually to a stimulus. So it's like always on the lookout for demons is probably.
Connor, what did I tell you? It's not assumed.
What?
What did I tell you? It's not assumed.
It's freaking stupid.
It's like, no, it's not this. It's this with one other word. And I get what you're saying, Caleb. I was just. Were you able to hear us a second ago, or you said it?
I think there was a snippet of conversation I missed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was telling him he should change his belief to protect my friends today, because then he can't. Otherwise, he can't complete it. Which he was saying, oh, he'll know what I mean. And I'm like, no, it's not how. It's never how these have worked.
Well, no, I think it works as it was because of the first part of the belief. We are about to reveal ourselves in church territory. So the idea is, this is what we're about to do. Friends. This is what it's about, right?
Yeah.
As long as I protect my friends from harm in that scenario, then we're good.
Right, but that just assumes that he has to protect us from the church elements that could be mad at us forever. Which is that's basically like your example that you go to whenever we write paths. So I was like, I want to protect someone. You're like, yes, but you have to protect them for the rest of your life now before you get persona for this.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And ultimately you'll fail because of that at some point.
I think
I changed it. I changed it to I will protect my friends from harm today.
Or you could say in the cathedral or something like that. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a better idea because that's actually focusing on what the meaning of it is.
Yeah.
So you can't really complete the first part as much.
Yeah.
I mean, you can kind of, but usually you're trying to complete.
All right. You want to list off your giant trait list here?
I was just about to ask. Do we want to do that every time?
Or
maybe just the first few times here?
I think so. It helps us remind me at the very least of stuff I can
the bonuses that we get so you can work around those.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Traits: intimidating, weight of the world, authoritative, foreign blood, gifted for the sensory discipline, gifted for the intellectual discipline, gifted for the physical discipline, ear for voices, iron will, dreamer, second sight, tenacious, feared, affinity for demons, dreadful, driven, aura of determination, and scavenger.
Nice.
What does aura of determination do again?
This trait allows the character and everyone within his presence to reroll one test in a great effort.
Oh, look, it's written right there. Nice.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I tried to copy the actual text from the book for all of these. So
that's a pretty
cool. Yeah. Dellon.
All right. Beliefs. I haven't seen Alphonse in 3 years, and now he's wielding magic to try and kill me. I will make him explain himself. We haven't heard word of what happened to the Crow Inquisitors, and now they are in Lucerta. I will discover what has become of the cult they constructed. I don't include myself in that. I don't remember how much it had to do with the construction of that cult, but anyways. Maria is working to turn the country against reigniting the war. I will sway the official she has designated. On my blade of my life, I shall hold the enemies of God at bay. I will determine if our new king is among them. That is my Holy Knight one.
Yeah.
Instincts.
As a note about you were saying before we started about the beliefs that would just be conversations and you might not make a roll. I think at the very least you can probably get a fate point for those, but probably not a persona point. Like if you don't have to spend something or like a resource or make a roll, then you can't get a persona for it. But if it like still made the story interesting and moved the story along, then we can always give fate for him. So I think it's the idea.
Instincts never go unarmed under any circumstances. Do whatever it takes to win when someone more important than myself is at stake. Or something more important than myself is at stake. Never leave a word against the holy god unchallenged. Traits: disciplined, haughty, religious, early riser, prominent, scar, faithful, mark of privilege, tonsured, fearless, believer, gifted for the potential discipline, sworn to the order, commanding aura, and nimble.
Dellon may have early riser, but I don't think David does.
I do not, in fact.
All right, Alphonse.
Hindsight is 2020. I will talk my way out of the fallout of my duel. My search for the Harbingers has led me back to Lucerta, but I would need more information. I will find Gialina and convince her to help. This demon has eluded me for too long. I will find a clue as where to look next. Always find a reason to use my powers. Always try to surpass Dellon. Always do what I can to protect Yuma. My giant list of traits. Rebel rouser, haughty. It might just work. Confident. Licentious. No, I like my pronunciation better.
You always do.
Gifted for 3 different magics. Tall tale teller, rapier wit, familiar face, charismatic, fleet of foot.
Very nice. And last but not least, Theo.
Who is least?
Oh wow. I must transcend
Cantarius, because he wants himself to be.
Oh yeah. I must transcend to godhood. I will work towards increasing my faith. My new patron has offered me power. I will work to return him to the physical realm. There are no gods, metaphorically, only demons. I will find a way to kill those who wrong me. Instincts: never give up a chance at power. Always trust Cantarius and never heed danger. Do we just do die traits or?
They can do all of them.
Okay.
Just list
attractive,
them real quick.
empathetic, light blonde hair, appreciation for beauty. Die traits: rapier wit, life is death, faith in dead gods, glory hound, fearless, apostate, Spartacus, Faust, driven, and show no fear.
Very nice. Last night, my other Burning Wheel game, we voted on the Chosen One trait for a character, for Josh Lang's character, which Gray Shades Faith. Well, he kind of like revealed himself as a god and made an entire city join him. So that seemed relevant. But I realized that's one of the things that you need, Adam, is you need a trait that gray shades your faith. Which actually you're on your way to gray shading your will permanently with your Artha stuff that you've put in it. Because you spent that deeds point in it.
Said that gray shade.
And if you gray shade will, it will gray shade faith as well. So that's something to keep in mind, because that makes it way easier to succeed on faith rolls, which is the point, right?
How do you gray shade will again? Or how do you
so it's just like putting an amount of Artha in it. So right now you have
it's like 20 fate and like 12 persona and 2 or 3 deeds or something like that. I don't know.
Right now you have 1 fate point, 3 persona, and 1 deeds point in it.
The deeds point's the hard one though. So
yeah. So I would just like try to make some rolls with skills that you don't have that are based on will, and bank a bunch of fate in them when you do.
Wait, say that again.
Oh, what part of it again?
Just start over. When you said you
to get tests to get tests in faith, right? Is what you're saying? Or no, will. Will.
Right now you have 1 fate, 3 persona, and 1 deed spent.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So in order to get stuff to count towards will, you have to be rolling unlearned skills. So like, because normally if you roll,
technically there are points where you could probably roll will by itself, but those are rare typically.
Usually you get test to stats by learning skills, and if the roll was, is it routine gives you a test towards the skill and everything else gives you a test towards the stat, right?
Yep.
So is learn unlearn or no?
Being learned is like you haven't learned it yet.
You're trying to roll a skill you don't know. Yeah, and then it becomes being learned. And then when you're rolling those, if you spend Artha, the Artha goes on your will stat, just like the test
instead of the skill you're trying
to
learn.
Considered Artha? I never understood that.
Artha is fate, persona, or deeds. Those are all.
It's like it's the word that means all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's something to keep in mind. That will help Theo if he wants to advance it.
I have to spend Artha on being
on will.
Succeed in order to get credit for
it.
That.
Doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you succeed or fail. It's just like banking points in it. So
it's just that if you
how many do I need to gratiate it?
It's a lot.
You need a lot, but you need like to do the semi-permanent one, where like it happens for a scene. You need what is it? 5, 3, and 1.
Yeah. And you don't expend them when you do that. It's just as you accumulate them, you can do better things. So like when you hit what he just said, you can gratiate it for a scene, but then you continue to accumulate them. And once you get to like, I think it was like 2012.
It's 2010 and 3.
Yeah. Then it turns gray permanently. So it's not like you lose them when you do it the first time temporarily. It's just that that's sort of the first thing you can do. And then you keep
if I gratiated it temporarily, could I gratiate temporarily faith or no?
Yeah. For that scene, your faith would be gratiated temporarily. Yeah.
So that would that be a good time to roll for faith if I had that up?
Right, exactly. The idea is you spend your last fate to make that epiphany happen in the scene that you want to get the gray shade, right? Because then it'll activate. But yeah, that's something to keep in mind for Theo. I think that might be helpful. But yeah, let's jump into the actual session here.
Yeah, no, it's 9 again.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I want to.
Yeah, it's all right. We got to
make sure we have time to talk through beliefs and stuff if we need to.
Right.
Okay, so we last left off where Dellon and Alphonse just had their like epic duel in the cathedral.
It's dying.
Sorry,
David, say something so Caleb doesn't have to.
I was gonna say, would someone like to give me a recap while I cough my?
Oh right, yeah, we get persona for that, right? So here's the recap. Alphonse showed up and we fought, and that's the end. I'm kidding. So I mean, that's not too much off the mark. Basically, there was a coronation.
I panched the king,
and yeah. So there's a coronation for the king who's moving his secular seat of power to the religious seat of power as a middle finger to the church, I guess, and which I apparently we've asked for, and then Alphonse tried to pants the king as Alphonse does, and
it ended up being like the Squilliam thingers, like, oh no, he's hot.
Well, yeah, right.
Squilliam.
Yep, and then there was like a super cool scene that no one else experienced because it was all in Cantarius and Theo's mind, where they saw super evil vortex swirling over the entire planet, and it identified all the demons and the important people in Lucerta, which turned out to be like 2 guys. There's like a bishop and then the leader of all of the guilds, who is, I guess, the demon they're hunting. And then Alphonse attacked Dellon, and we had the most successes anyone will ever have in a fight ever. And then somehow Dellon still won. And then Theo made a quip about missing something as soon as it ended. Mm-hmm. And I think that was pretty much
Alphonse
everything.
Literally spent a deeds point and still Dellon.
I wasn't going to rub that in.
Oh, no. Rub it. I was a naughty boy. Just rub my nose in it like a bad dog.
I don't want to know what Alphonse did too. All right.
Okay, so in the moments that immediately follow that statement by Theo, before like soldiers burst in to be like, who's fighting? What's happening? What do you guys say?
I mean, you can teleport, right? Is there any kind of limitations to your teleporting mechanically? Or not? I mean, I guess I mean the opposite of that, narratively. Are there any narrative limitations on your ability to teleport? Because I'm holding
how much I roll.
Does that matter? Yeah, I guess. Because the reason I asked that is because Theo comes up and says something, and I'd probably be like, "Oh, someone's talking," and look up, which would be enough time for you to teleport if you can do that while you're being restrained. But I don't know how the magic works.
Caleb would be the one to know that.
Is that
It'd
like
probably be he'd give like an
roll?
odd penalty or something. Yeah.
Okay.
I roll to teleport.
Yeah, as I say, if you want to. So should I just make like a power roll, or is it just increasing his? How does that work?
I think Caleb's coughing again.
Okay. But yeah. So anyways, Theo says that. I look up like that voice sounds familiar, and then I guess we'll see what happens. Because I was holding you down with my sword to your throat. Your sword went down the stairs, if I recall correctly, and then at Theo's feet, and he was like, "Oh, what did we miss?"
Oh,
well, I assume you'll probably want to like tell the guards that everything's like it's all good, nothing's.
Dellon doesn't know if it's all good.
Here's my question: are we there yet? Has it been explicitly declared that we're all together now?
You are at the bottom of a staircase, looking at me, basically
Theo
sitting
had enough
on
time
Alphonse
to say a quip
with my sword to his throat, and Theo was like, "What did we miss?" Mm-hmm. And then now we're seeing if he can teleport away.
I think Theo would say like, "Dellon, what's going on here?" Like, because you're like, I mean, I don't know that Alphonse attacked you. I just see you holding a sword over him. Basically. Yeah, I don't know who started it, but
yeah. Well, in that case, I look back down at Alphonse. I'm like, that is a good question, Alphonse. What is happening here? And like, I'm trying to restrain you, but I don't know. Again, I don't know if
Alphonse.
You know what's going on.
Darn it, Gale owes me a refund.
He looks at Alphonse and says, like, Alphonse, like, explain yourself.
Yeah, I thought about this later, and I realized that if there was any kind of shape changing that could be happening, and I guess there is technically with magic, Dellon probably would have assumed that this was not Alphonse at all, because you're like a demigod of fighting. Awesome. And I would have just probably killed you because I thought you were pretending to be Alphonse.
Oh, yeah.
But it was the first episode, and so I was like, nah, I guess not. But I was like, yeah, there's no way I would assume this was actually you. Last time I saw you, you didn't even know how to use a sword, and now you're like as good as I am and magical. I'd be like, oh, this is some kind of illusion to throw me off guard while someone tries to assassinate me.
Oh, I think the line about Gale would.
That's a good point, I guess. So you say that, and then Theo's like looks at you and says, "What's going on now?"
Oh, okay.
They say his name like Alphonse.
I thought I could finally beat him, but I was wrong.
So you fought him?
Yeah. It was this close.
No, he jumped me, and I like sort of like roughly push off of you.
It's only jump if it's from behind.
It was from behind.
Not to begin.
Literally, you teleported behind me, which raises another question. You're a sorcerer now? I don't know. Call them. Is that a thing? Call them sorcerers. What do they call it?
Channeler.
You're a channeler now?
I learned to. I mean, I was before we left, but I have a few more tricks up my sleeve now.
You couldn't teleport,
and then I teleport.
Yeah, I saw that already.
I want to get.
I guess I also used force fields. I don't know if you knew I could do that either.
Oh.
So,
you have magic now too. Did you find your thing? The magic stone thing that I don't have anymore?
Yeah, the order showed up at my wedding and crashed it, and they had a magical cup. And now
You're married?
Force field. Yeah. I married Maria. I have a kid.
Okay.
Hi, it's been a while. And then I turn back to Theo and Cantarius. I'm like, speaking of which, it's been 3 years. What's going on?
Complicated.
Right.
I think he looks at Cantarius. He looks at Cantarius as like, it's complicated. That sounds weird. I look at Cantarius.
All right. Well, you all have a lot
from the ground.
Yeah. Like, well, you all have a lot of explaining to do. So I guess we should find something to eat.
Cantarius, Cantarius just nods. He's a little uncomfortable about this situation and about seeing you guys again and about being in this cathedral. So
Yuma seems uncomfortable too about this whole situation.
Oh yeah,
she's avoiding looking at Dellon.
Yeah, hey, hi Yuma. I'm married now. Sorry. Yeah, I guess.
Well,
he doesn't say that.
I pull you into a hug. I'm like, oh, congrats.
Yeah.
You got a kid on the way yet?
Yeah, I give you a back. I say, they're already here. His name is dramatic pause.
Achille.
Yeah, that one. Achille,
What's it?
yeah.
Achille?
It's Achilles, but pronounced Italian because that's who we are.
Okay. Caleb wouldn't let me name my kid Alfredo. I was upset.
Yeah, he he asked me what my kid's name was, and we at the same time had the same conversation as you were having with him about all the silly names. I was
literally
like,
just me
Gaston
getting dumb names from both of them at the same time, and I was like, yep.
I was looking at an Italian name list, and Gaston was on there.
Alfredo is Italian. Gaston's Italian.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, it has to be Gaston, but then I got shut down. So,
I would say
has grown in his
his willpower.
Yeah.
My hatred has grown.
Yeah.
That's your power.
From a 6 to a 7.
Once he hits 10 hatred, he'll give up GMing forever.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably about that point when you guys are about to be like, let's go get shawarma. That some guards
Alphonse
burst
on
in.
the ground. He's like, we should get some shawarma. There's a shawarma.
Exactly. Yeah. A bunch of guards, like they're temple guards, burst in. I guess the door's already open, like of the cathedral, so they just like rush in. They don't like burst the door open or anything. And at their head is a guy that you're familiar with, Dellon. His name is Medetto. This is the guy who was in charge of like the temple guard when he's played by Jude Law. And
so of course he plays a cop.
You had a couple of conversations with him when you were trying to get Maria out of the church, because she got like forcibly put in it.
Right.
So
did I fight him or did I fight with him?
You didn't fight him. You just like talked to him, and he would like telling you about like what had happened to Maria, and like pointed you where to go.
Okay, but wasn't there that whole scuff with the Holy Knights at one point? Was he not involved with that?
He was not involved in that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
And so one other thing you know about him is that he, during the war, when the war started, he like joined up in the ranks to fight Shoei.
Okay. Cool. So yeah,
and he got the rank of colonel. By the end of it. So I think at this point he's in charge of like a good portion of Lucerta's military. But he just like happened to he was at the ceremony as like an important person, was leaving, heard this, gathered up some temple guards and can burst back in. Right.
Wait, so he's not a Holy Knight.
He's not a Holy Knight. This is just a regular military guy. Yeah.
All right, cool.
So right. He bursts in and he says, "What's going on? Dellon, are you okay?"
Yeah, it's settled. Just some, I don't know.
Good old-fashioned sibling rivalry.
Hijinks. Yeah, everything's resolved. And I like look at the people in the temple who probably were afraid and like, apologies. Everything's fine.
Yeah, most of the people who could have evacuated, but there's probably some who didn't want to risk like going past you guys and are like huddled in the corners. Like, yeah.
I'll say sorry to the nuns.
Right. Yeah. A gaggle of nuns that are hiding underneath a pew. But yeah, I think Medetto, like, he has a sword out, right, and he points and he says, "You have a lot of explaining to do. You're Alphonse." He's pointing at you, Jared.
Yes, this response time was just horrible.
Are you gonna try to insult him into?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was chewing.
Oh, okay. I was like, that's all you're saying.
I'm going to convince him that this was like a test.
Yeah, he was testing the
security. The temple security.
This has been a test of the emergency response signal.
Your response time was.
Yeah.
I could have assassinated Dellon, the king, however many people by now. Come on. Who's in charge?
All right,
Cantarius mutters under his breath. Clearly not.
Wow. Yeah, I just told that man, I'm like, that's enough Alphonse. Like we don't need to lie about this. It's just yes, this is Alphonse. He claims to be. He's much more competent with a sword than last time I met him, but everything's fine.
I could also be a fake.
I think someone should make a roll here to like calm down the situation.
Oh, can I roll to see if Jared's fake? Observation or whatever.
Probably not. I mean, I think
that would be like an illusion roll. Or magic roll. I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a 9. No, that's a wild.
What are we making a roll for?
I want to roll to see if Alphonse is fake, so that I can actually have a persona for completing my goal.
I don't think it makes any sense for Dellon to roll that.
Why not? He could be. I mean, if he has 3 magic systems, illusions could be just a 4th one that I don't know about. Alphonse couldn't do any of this stuff 3 years ago. I'm just saying.
And like illusion magic and intellectual magic exists. So I think it's fair that Dellon, at the very least of all people, Dellon would be suspicious enough to be like, wait a second, is he really Alphonse?
And the physical discipline.
Now I don't think he is anymore, but while I was fighting him, there was a very real possibility. That was actually the thought I had later, was that I might have just killed him because I thought there's no way this could be Alphonse.
Yeah. The thing is, the time for that is already passed, I feel like.
Yeah, but I didn't get to roll and I want my persona. So here we go.
I just don't
observation based off 6 because magic. Oh, I failed. Darn. I thought you were fake, but then convinced me I wasn't.
It turns out I'm actually dead.
Wait, make a persuasion roll to convince me you're not fake, Jared.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
No, none of this happens.
Ob 6.
Seduction.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
We did end the fight with me sitting on
putting a halt on this right now. So Jared, did you want to make the roll to like calm down this dude? It sounded like you had a belief about it. So
that and the citizens like, calm down, everyone. It was just a test. Just a test.
What skill are you trying to roll there?
Persuasion, I guess.
I don't think persuasion works if you're. Yeah, exactly. I think it's just falsehood. That makes the most sense, right?
Okay, yeah. All right, so falsehood. I mean, I'll fork in persuasion to that.
Yeah, you can do that.
Falsehood, bullcrap wise, persuasion.
Mm-hmm. You can fork an oratory.
Tale.
Oh yeah, oratory. Tall tale teller. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is this guy talking to a noble?
If you're doing tall tale teller, I would want you to add a little bit more, like embellish it more. Like, why was it a test? Who, like, you know?
Well, the king's in town. We have to test our. If the king's going to live here from now on, all of our security systems need to be in tip-top shape. We have the Pope and the king here.
Ellen's just sighing and pinching his nose, like.
No, and I slapped Dellon on the back, like, "Don't worry, you pass."
Okay, yep. Go ahead.
And the guy we're talking to is a noble, right?
I don't think so. Actually, he is. I think he's a city born.
What a chunk!
I'll double check, but
I have city wise too. So
he's city born, but no, you can't fork in city wise.
No, okay. Court gossip wise.
No.
You haven't been in the court for 3 years, so I'm guessing that probably doesn't apply.
I lost count. So 2.
Yeah, that's the downside to a D6 pool system. Once you get enough dice, you lose track.
5.
I just count them up as I'm putting them in the modifiers.
Okay, and conspicuous.
Conspicuous. I don't know. I feel like that's like working against you, if anything. Like, I don't know.
Making a scene, right?
Making a scene. That's what got you into the mess, right?
I have both now.
I mean, I feel like one of them should apply, right? He's either making a scene or trying not to make a scene.
Yeah, I'll let you do inconspicuous because you're just trying to look less threatening. Is the idea, I think.
Right. So what's the What's this guy's will?
Suppose it would be his will, yeah.
Or the average of the will in the room. I think that was how we did it for groups.
The guy you really need to convince is this guy. His will is 6, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody who matters has 6 will, and
that doesn't matter.
Dang. Huh? Oh, it's gray. Nice.
Yeah.
You're a monster. Where's my persuasion roll, Jared?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Look, just because he didn't make these rolls doesn't mean we should have made the rolls.
What's your will, David?
6. I guess I kill you. Sorry.
No. Yeah, exactly. No,
You're supposed to pass this roll, Jared. Oh, you didn't add any of your forks.
Wait, that means it's oh wait, no, it's 8. So 6 into an 8. That's still routine crap.
Yeah. So yeah, you say all of this, Alphonse, and the guy is just standing there with his sword like pointing outward, and he slowly glances around at the room, and some of the nuns kind of stand up and brush themselves off, and he's wait, he's okay, everyone's okay with this, looking at you, Dellon, you're this is that what happened?
Yeah. I walk closer and I go to shake his hand because I assume I haven't seen him in a minute. I'm sorry about this. Under my breath. Because I'm sure he knows it's BS and I know it's BS. I basically said it was BS at the beginning.
Yeah.
But it's about saving face for, well, kind of. I guess not really for him, but
yeah. I
guess it's better that this was a test and he was a little slow than it was an attempted assassination and he was a little slow. So
yeah, he slowly slides his sword back into his sheath and then reaches out and shakes your hand, and then he says, "You're gonna have to give me a longer explanation sometime, but
I'll give it to you when I get
it." Fair enough.
Alphonse uses his continuous discipline to quickly write just a huge list of things that he did wrong in his response, and just hand it to him like a report card.
Make what's the word for red tape?
I was gonna say you can make a continuous discipline test to think of these things, but actually writing them out is I guess it wouldn't take that long. Yeah, make a continuous discipline test. I think I'm.
He just has ink and paper, and
because I think if you succeed on this and actually give it to him, this will he won't follow up on this whole adventure, right? He'll just be okay, yeah, these are actually things I should have worked on. Okay, that sounds good, right?
So is this a bureaucracy test? What?
He's just making a continuous discipline test, I think.
I'll fork in, write, and bullcrap.
But I mean, to actually have a list of things. Continuous is how he's doing it in a couple of seconds.
Well, that's why I'm adding in the bullcrap wise to think of bullcrap things.
No, sure. If you want actual things are what's going to actually convince this guy.
No.
So, but basically what I'm saying, David, is I don't think it's going to take him that long to write up the things as long as he can have them all in his brain.
Right. But that's what I mean is even if he can think of them quickly, he still has to think of them, which I feel is like a different skill, right? To actually have answers.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's fair.
He can think about it as long as he wants, but if he doesn't know the answer, then right.
Burning ATM doesn't make you knowledgeable about things.
So I wasn't saying he can't write them down. I was just wondering if he could come up with. He could just make up answers again.
I was gonna say,
bull crap.
Continuous discipline might be looking backwards in time, Alphonse, right? To actually watch what the response time was. It's up to you, right?
Can he do that? Can he project his senses somewhere else and determine how long it took them?
Into the past or the future?
Can they continuous
anywhere? Anyone's past or future?
It would be much more difficult the further you get away. But yeah, the idea is you can change your perception of time. So you can't move yourself through time, but you can sense things in different points of time.
I feel like Alphonse would use this for evil.
I thought this was going to be a real simple, quick roll. It did not.
Let's just let him follow up. What is he going to do about it? Who cares?
I was going to say, Alphonse, if you just want to roll a bullcrap wise test to do this without actually doing the work, you could do that instead, right?
Not to be that guy, but you can't roll a wise for a skill, right? Can't actually accomplish things with the wise.
Well, he can know the thing. The question here is, does he know the thing? And so he could bullcrap a list of things. Because
he's already done the falsehood. So
yeah.
Okay. I got you.
So am I rolling continuous and forking all of this in, or
what? It depends on how much effort Alphonse actually wants to put into this.
You should just make a bullcrap wise roll. I feel like this isn't important enough to risk failing a magic roll or anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Bullcrap wise,
you would, I guess,
falsehood, city wise.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You can your will gray?
Noble wise.
His will is gray, but not his perception.
His magic will?
No, magic is based on the discipline.
Oh, right, duh. Yeah, okay.
And then right, since I'm writing.
No. The ability to write does not really help this. It just allows the test to be made.
There's a reason I never increased the right skill above 2, and it's because all it does is let you write, and having a higher one seems to do nothing.
Okay. I'll fork in etiquette instead, so like the etiquette of the letter.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What's the 6 again?
No, it's based on like how difficult this list
You're
is.
You're trying to come up with stuff, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, the thing is, you're trying to come up with stuff that he, as a colonel, wouldn't think of. So I feel like it's probably not super easy.
It wouldn't be super easy. The trick is doing it vague enough so that he won't.
You just got to do that
through
thing
the fact that it's nonsense.
You just have to come up with stuff that sounds reasonable, but it's actually really impractical for anybody who actually does the job. And but it sounds good.
So what you're saying is anyone who conducts tests like this.
Exactly.
I'll 5, Alphonse.
Okay. Crap.
Oh.
I'll
3 6s.
You rolled falsehood.
Oh. Oops.
I mean. Oh yeah, no. This is to come up with language.
Yeah, it's to come.
I'll just re-roll that since I have one less dice.
Okay.
What was the other? 5.
5.
Hi, there you go.
Nice.
That was good. 8 dice, and you got 5.
Yeah, that was a pretty good.
I actually needed a routine for that.
Yeah.
Nice.
You don't often roll these by themselves, so.
Yeah, wise is there. Yeah.
Yeah, so Alphonse just like starts scribbling down a list and hands it to Medetto, and he's looking it over, like scratching his head, like, what does the amalgamation of troops and the density of nobility's quarters mean? Right? Like just putting random words together that sound fancy, but he doesn't question it too much, right? He's just like, okay, like rolls it up.
Right, I think we were going to get something to eat. Yes.
Yeah, that took way too long. I'm so sorry. I thought I was going to be
it's fine.
Girl.
No, you're fine. That was in character. I was deflecting in character. So I guess we go to a pub.
Really?
Do a pub crawl.
You have a house.
I'm sure. Yeah, but I mean, I can't cook, and I'm not going to be like, hey, I'm ready to cook 6 meals right now. Plus, I mean, I feel like, it was.
Well, I mean, Maria doesn't do the cooking because she doesn't have the skill. So, let me double check.
I mean,
you probably have servants. You have a manor, so yeah, you have servants.
I'm gonna call him Achilles because I can't remember the real.
Achille.
Achille. So we'll have Achille do it. He can do it. He has a skill, right?
He does not. He has a 1 in everything.
I've been playing a game where your characters need to drink alcohol to reduce their stress level, and the children, it's in beta, so the children at this point are just little adults, which means they also still need to drink alcohol to reduce it. So my 1-year-old is like, make sure his character has access to alcohol to reduce their stress. I'm like, anyways,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I say we should just go somewhere that's easy to go that has food, like an inn. I don't know, or something.
I mean, I literally think the closest and easiest place to go would literally be your house.
All right,
you're in the like noble district over here.
Oh, okay.
So like you just hop, skip, and a jump over here. And
which one of these boxes is that? My house?
One of these, right? One of the smaller ones, probably. Yeah.
I want this one because it has a courtyard in the middle, which is the coolest thing that a house can have.
Sure. Well, at the very least, we can say your house has a courtyard in the middle, whether or not it's actually that one. Yeah.
All right.
So is that what you guys would do? Theo and Cantarius, you'd head out to Dellon's house to discuss things.
Yeah.
I feel like Dellon probably suggests somewhere else because he doesn't want to bring these people to his house. And then Alphonse is probably like, you live near here, right? Okay.
This might be a moment though where Cantarius, like before you guys leave, that Cantarius wants to make some sort of roll to make sure that Dellon actually can be trusted, because like going,
yeah, maybe we can, while we're walking, we can talk, because now I have questions for you guys. So
yeah, what do you think, Connor? Would this be a point where, like, before you guys would head out, like Cantarius would be like, wait, like I need to suss out Dellon and make sure he's on the up and up?
Did you give somebody trouble for saying sus, or did Connor give you trouble for saying sus?
I gave him trouble for saying sus.
All right.
I said it again just to see what he would do.
Yeah, I think
that was a legitimate use of it, though. That's yeah.
You gotta use your sus.
You made it worse, Connor. David. You made it worse. I think
I try.
Yeah. Also, like Alphonse and Dellon kind of stole the show there for a moment again, so as they typically do. So I want to make sure Cantarius and Theo have a chance to say anything in the cathedral if they actually wanted to.
We're less impulsive characters.
Well, I figured that's what we were going to do when we were eating. So that's why I suggested
that. But Cantarius literally has a belief about, like, can Dellon be trusted? So, like, I don't know if he would even go to your house unless
good
right
call.
up to Connor.
I'm not sure if he feels safer here.
Yes, would you like to come into my base?
Exactly, right.
But I think he just wants to be sure anyway. So I don't know, what would he even like say to determine that?
You like read a mood or read an intent or something? Is that you can do that?
Yeah, I mean, again, you have aura reading basically through your intellectual discipline, so you could do that.
So you could just read an intent and see if I have an ambush at my house waiting for
I was gonna say you can use that
discipline.
to do demon stuff, but you can also use it to read people, right?
Yeah, I'll do that.
To do demon stuff.
Okay.
I don't know. Part of me is like, would Cantarius consider this a breach of trust?
But would Cantarius care?
It's probably your best way of actually getting this answer.
That's just for the sake of like the game. If I just was like, hey, tell me if you're trustworthy or not, I'm just going to fail, and it's going to look really like dumb as a conversation. Someone's going to do this instead.
Yeah. This is typically the tool that Reunite gives us, if anything, to do this sort of thing. Otherwise,
there actually isn't a skill for reading people's intent, because I don't think Reunite really expects you to do that.
Unless you're magical.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's going to be an Ob 4 test, Connor. You're only doing it against Dellon, so that's not going to increase any modifiers. You're just using the skill as it's meant to be used. So yeah, Ob 4 to sense an intent.
Force field.
You can make a force field, but not one that shields your intent.
I put it on my head like a tinfoil hat.
Cantarius would see magic around your head, but he would also be able to see in your mind.
Is there?
Forgot my shields are translucent.
Exactly.
I don't really see anything that I could use. Well, no, I could fork in sensory discipline here.
Yeah.
There's different physical tells.
Yes, that's fine. Yeah.
Could listen to his heartbeat. Those types of things could all toff on him.
Yeah.
Well, I'd have to tell a lie for that. Or I say something that could be a lie.
Right, but like when you say, "Let's go back to my house and we'll eat," like, are you?
What if the food's poisoned?
Waiting maniacally, right?
You gonna eat us?
Hey, you're not gonna kill us, right?
Yeah.
I guess I'm just gonna roll.
Yep, Op 4.
Yeah, that seems fine.
Totally gonna murder all of you.
Cantarius is back.
Yeah.
No, that was
actually a pretty difficult roll.
The likelihood of me succeeding that was pretty low, actually.
Although they were
you have a 6.
No, they were open-ended already.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You can re-roll one.
You can re-roll one die.
I will.
With a fate, yeah.
Wait, why? Oh, because you want to put fate in it. Okay.
Yeah.
No, just because I have 18 fate.
I guess you could get 2 6s.
Yeah,
that's true.
What is it? Greater than 4?
Yes. I mean, so you can. Hey,
whoa!
Oh
my goodness, what?
Okay,
you
do it
might
again.
actually get this.
Just press up on the.
Yeah. Should have known better. Should have known better.
The game gives me hope.
Just to strip it away.
Yeah.
That's just cruel.
Okay, so a difficult test for your intellectual discipline, Cantarius. But
which ups it to 5.
Amazing.
And now it's tax,
I
right?
see.
Is that how that works?
No, so when he fails, he misses something important, right? Like he has to make a steel test.
I am gonna kill him.
Right, I forgot about that.
But
this will explain why I was quiet the whole conversation.
Right, I'm trying to think. It should mean more than just you were quiet. If you fail this, like, what does this mean narratively for Cantarius if he happens to fail the steel test? What does that mean?
Maybe I pick up.
We talked about this.
Is that possible?
We talked about this when he's using the intellectual discipline. He gets caught in the realm. His mind has a hard time getting out.
Right, but like I want to make sure this is more than just Cantarius stands around for a little while and nothing bad happens.
I think he's saying that like demons see him, right? If he gets stuck in that realm and they see him, right?
No, well, I mean,
isn't that what happened last time?
So, according to the actual rules of the hex or whatever this is called,
you basically just miss something important is the idea.
Yeah, but this role was to find out something important, so that's kind of automatically true by virtue of having failed.
So he misses the conversation because of that. And so he comes out of it and he's like, why are we walking away? What did I miss? And probably like whispers to Antonius, like, where are we going?
Okay, yeah. He's like, Dellon.
Although didn't you only make the roll because you were concerned about, I guess you were just generally concerned about
I mean, it's just my belief. So he probably did it once he... Okay.
When you realized the conversation wasn't important, and then you're like, okay. You just heard Alphonse talking and you were like, all right, I got time.
Although I make a steel test, don't I?
Yes, you have to make the steel test. If
I fail it, this is what happens.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so what's the ob then?
It should just be your hesitation.
Right? So it's 6. I don't fork anything into it with advantages, do I?
Nope.
Do you have any like
conditional obs?
Traits?
It would be like if something supernatural is happening around, like that's why you're making the steel test in terms of like you see a demon and it scares you, like. But I don't think there's anything like that here.
So I fail.
Yeah. I mean, you could always spend a fate if you wanted to, but
you'll know that we're going to our house, I guess, which you'll find out in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think I'm good. I don't want to get another 6 and a 1 again.
Yeah.
You can mark that difficult steel test though.
Cool.
Yeah, so I mean that makes sense, right? Like the Cantarius just like was in the weird demon realm, his eyes rolling back in his head or whatever, right? When this conversation is happening, and then you're walking away, and Antonius
is foaming at the mouth.
It's not that dramatic, but
no, not yet. It's less obvious than that, but still detrimental if we were in a fight right now.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. So Antonius whispers to you, Dellon invited us over for dinner at his manor. And he gives you a look like, you missed that? Like, I thought we were like all okay with this. Are we not okay with this?
No, he just says, I got stuck again.
Oh, he nods slowly.
Oh yeah, I guess this means I invited Yuma, which is, I don't know, does Maria know Yuma?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, whatever.
Yeah, they had a heart-to-heart in season 2, if I remember.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I mean, if Dellon doing this kind of stuff to himself isn't the point at this point, then what is?
What is Cantarius doing? Is he not going now, or?
I think he is.
No, I am. I just I missed what we were doing, so I had to ask Antonius what was going on.
Yeah, he failed his like magic roll and failed the steel test, so he's
and don't be offended, Theo. I asked Antonius just because I wanted to make sure we didn't forget him, that he exists.
Yeah, for a second there, I thought Caleb was talking for Theo, and I'm like, "What? Did we lose Adam? Why is he?" And then I realized you asked somebody else, and I was confused.
But yeah, so I mean, we can skip ahead and have you guys at Dellon's house now, as his servants are cooking up some grub for you. And there was probably going to be some
room.
Yeah, I was going to say there's probably lunch was being made anyway, right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So there's.
Hey, Caleb, can I secretly make a faith roll?
Yeah.
I honestly, I was thinking although he's hunting demons, his second agenda is trying to find out what to do. And I think he wanted to make a faithful just like, hey, can I have some guidance? Like, show me what I have to do next. He like literally
the classic Theo role. Ask the gods what to do, and they slap you down. And figure it out on your own.
Yeah. Well, he's like, like, what do I have to do to release you? Like, I'm trying to help you. What, like, you haven't given me any specific steps. So I think he wants to make a role like you could make it so whatever I need to do is like visible through walls or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm down with that. So keep in mind we are playing with the rule now that like prayers are like actually visible and like vocal. Like you can't just pray in your mind. But I mean,
pray really loudly.
No, not necessarily. But just I think audibly, everyone, yeah. Theo, everyone who knows Theo knows he does this. So I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Also, Dellon also has faith. So yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be weird.
Does he have to say it like in like prayer form, or can he just like
necessarily
say it as if he's talking to the person?
It would depend on the way you're framing it. I think typically it is like an actual prayer, but like this guy is like weirder. It's like faith in dead gods. So yeah, you could just be conversational about it if you'd like.
I think he kind of like wanders, like looking at the cathedral. He's like, like here's the company. He kind of looks away and kind of walks. He's kind of like
talking to himself.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do next? How do I free you? He's just kind of like saying it, but he's literally asking it.
Yeah, I like it.
What do you want me to do?
So this will be, I believe, Ob 5 for guidance, I think is what it is. If I remember correctly on the Obs.
Can you only fork in traits, or can you fork in other?
You can only fork in other people's faith of the same religion and other people's like combined will dice if you have a bunch of believers together.
Can I fork in like where was it? Like doctrine, or like because I know that usually there's like a thing that there's some sort of element or physical material. It's not just like I have to say some words. I know I'm looking for something or looking for someone.
You can maybe make a linked test with doctrine. So make a test in advance, basically, to possibly get an extra die.
So I roll.
But you can also hurt yourself with link tests. If you fail, you can lose die. You can increase the ob. So you only want to do it if you're pretty confident.
You only have a 2 in doctrine. I don't know if this is something Theo wants to do.
That's the only way you can use other skills to fork them in.
For faith, at least.
For faith, yeah. Most magical things are there.
Yeah.
But faith is also open-ended, isn't it?
Yep.
What does that mean?
It'll automatically reroll the 6s.
It's like you spent a fate on it automatically.
Well, I want to use fate.
Well, you can still spend another fate to reroll one failed success or one failed dice. It's just that it basically the first fate that makes you reroll 6s is automatically spent pretty much. I mean, you don't actually spend it, but it's like you have spent one. You can still spend one fate on it anyways later to reroll 1 dice.
I'm still trying to see if there's anything that I can use. Faith in dead gods is also a die trait. Why is that?
Because it's giving you like a mechanical benefit. That's the idea.
I can't fork that, right?
No.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and there aren't any call-ons for faith that I know of. So
you can't use Faust, right?
You have believer?
He used to, and then he lost it because he's definitely
believer decreases your ob, but
yeah. I don't think there's anything you can fork in here. I think it's literally just ob 5 against your 5 there, and we just see what happens, right?
I mean, it can be done.
Wait, what happens if I fail again?
You struck by lightning, remember?
Well, not necessarily. Like most of the time, nothing happens, but you could. I probably won't have anything bad happen.
Basically, you accrue animosity is the sense that I get.
How do you use persona again?
Yeah, I was gonna say you can spend persona. Right. You only have 2, but you could spend 1 or 2 if you'd like.
You can spend up to 3 persona, but you don't.
When can you use persona? Just anytime?
Anytime you make a roll.
Persona has to be before you roll, though.
Yeah.
Because it gives you more dice. And then fate is after you roll to reroll dice.
I don't want to have very many persona.
Yeah.
I want to use it on will, because that probably would be better.
Yeah, that's true. If you're going to try and ingratiate it, you kind of want to. I mean, it's going to be hard to find opportunities. I mean, I guess you just got to roll lots of bad tests, but.
Oh, it's close. That's super close.
So you can spend a fate and reroll one of those.
How do I?
It's a 50-50
chance. You can, is it slash roll d6?
So there's actually a little button right up next to where your fate are listed, a little d6. there, and you can just put in the remaining ob and the amount of dice you're rolling there, and it will do it for you.
I'm rolling 1 dice, right?
Yep. 1 die against 1 ob. Yep.
Man, we're having bad
bummer.
luck with our rerolls today.
Yep.
But you still get to put a fate point in faith.
Yes. Yep. Which, like, he has literally 1 fate point marked in faith, which I know he spent more Arthur than that, but we have I don't think you've been keeping track of it, which is unfortunate. Okay, so I think it's literally just like you get the sense that he's like, wait and see. Like, it won't be long before you find it out, but like now now is not the time. Like, and by the way, the voice that you hear in your mind from Kreos is Christopher Lee. That's who I've decided to like cast this guy as. So you hear this, very rich, elderly man who's talking to you. So, but yeah, he basically just says, "Wait and see, Theo."
What things do you roll steal if you fail? Just the disciplines?
No, steal for anything that could cause pain or hesitation, or technically even like hearing bad news is technically a steal test, but we don't usually make them. You just get tests.
I'll roll for a steal test. Oh yeah, I don't need it.
Well, you can actually get at the end of the session. You can actually just, I think we're supposed to do steal tests where like you just go through, and even if you didn't roll steal, if there was like literally minor things that didn't matter, you still get tests for them, right? I think we've done that before, haven't we, Caleb? I don't know if that's.
Is there a way to like do a steal test, or I guess I'd have to think of a scenario.
You can stab yourself. Taking damage causes steal test.
Like do something crazy that would result in like you actually have to be brave enough to do it. Like I'm gonna just run through these guards because it's like that'd be crazy to do.
That could be a thing that happens.
I was just wondering, like, can I just do something that I wouldn't normally do that would be obviously cause a scene, but you'd have to have the courage to do it, kind of thing.
Sure, yeah. I mean, whenever if you thought that Theo would have to make a steal test and it fits one of the qualifiers, then we can always make that roll.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I think you guys get to Dellon's house. So yeah, what does that conversation look like exactly here?
So yeah, we're probably just in like a sitting room. Like, so I've heard Alphonse's very brief explanation. How about the two of you? Last I heard, the Inquisitors were heading to insert name of place here. What was the name of that region?
Nazarene.
Nazarene. And now I see you're here, presumably without them.
Yeah, what happened to
hopefully without them? They're not outside the city, are they?
Yeah. There's kind of a question there, yeah.
Yeah, what happened to the cult? How did that all work out for you guys?
The cult disbanded.
Oh. A good disbanded or a bad disbanded?
What would be
a good disband is like they all leave and they go home to their families. And a bad disband is there was too many deaths to be cohesive.
Yeah. He still, I feel like, I don't know. He doesn't have like an immediate answer to that. That it feels weird for him to be like, it was a good disband. Seems like a weird question for him to just answer. But
what did we send them there to do?
What's that?
Cantarius was supposed to march them around Nazarene, slowly teaching them to be better people. Cantarius just kind of ended up like they were supposed to be like kind of like a relief force or something, like to help people in the desert after they had been abused by the Holy Knights for forever. Cantarius ended up making it like, hey, there's this evil person who's taking advantage of others. Let's go kill that guy.
Okay. So I take it that reforming their ways didn't go very well.
Jeez, how does he answer that?
Yeah, Antonius is just looking at you like, "This is okay." I don't know what you're gonna say, but
I mean, does he actually pause that long? Because it's kind of an answer in itself.
Not this long, but
okay.
Yeah, I'm sure he pauses. I'm trying to figure out what he would say to that. I don't know. Because obviously, like, he thinks he failed, right? So that's why I'm like,
right.
But has he given a lot of thought to like what he would say to this? I don't know.
I mean, you could just say no.
No, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, he just hesitates, and we'll just say let's leave the audience in without an answer for now.
Oh, okay. So the other objective was relief, right? Did you manage to relieve the region of its issues or whatever it was that he asked you to do?
No, I don't think he did that. I don't think that was a part of the plan.
I thought that's what Caleb was just saying.
No, I'm almost positive it wasn't.
What was part of the plan?
For us to go to Caspian specifically?
No, not Caspian, just the region, right?
Yes, the region specifically was the plan, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, because the Holy Knights used to be there, like, crusading, basically, and then they came back to Lucerta at the end of Season 2, and so it was like, well, someone needs to be there. Let's go send them.
Interesting.
And now no one's there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. So...
He's like
Caspian,
a monster now. He's insane.
Yeah,
he's a golden monster.
Yeah,
has slowly degenerated into like a crazy crippled monster.
He's pretty evil now.
Awesome.
Who eats people's treasure.
Yeah.
So the region's worse off now because of him.
Yes.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that was basically Caspian's goal the whole time.
To be fair, I don't know if that is the case. I think it might be better. Caspian is going to slowly lose influence here. I don't think he's actually going to be able to conquer
the region
the whole
is
thing.
in the hands of that lady now.
Which lady?
She was going to be an ally for Caspian.
Oh, Vashri, the Sahila.
Yeah, she because Caspian went nuts. He roams around and attacks people now. So he's literally like a roaming monster, and she took influence in the region and took over. Is how I remember us ending it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's actually Maria's sister.
Yeah, because actually it was going to work, and then one of Caspian's wives poisoned him. Yep. And so then everything went. So it wasn't really your guys' fault.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't think the region is as bad off as we think.
Yeah. But
so Ceran has certainly lost influence in the region, though.
Yeah, so I guess I asked basically if you achieved adding stability to the region, and I guess as part of that question, if the Inquisitors disbanded, then we have no influence there at all now because you're not there and they're not there.
Yeah,
we're not there.
Which, to be honest, I don't know if Sergio cares too much about because his whole thing has been let's make the church not terrible. Right. Let's just let the Nazarene do their own thing.
I was just trying to see how much of the objective that they were sent there to achieve they achieved.
0.
I think
the answer is not much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is my volume okay? Can you guys hear me fine?
Volume's fine. Yeah.
You sound a little quieter to me than you were before, but still clear.
Okay.
Well, sounds like an eventful time. Do you have any stories you want to regale me?
I think we all just kind of look at each other, all three of us just kind of look at each other and we're like, no, not really.
In the silence, Alphonse notices the awkwardness. He's like, oh, you want to hear some stories? Well, and then he regales you with a very exaggerated version of hunting cults and demons that he's been doing.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, do you mention the name the Harbingers, Alphonse?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have any idea who that is, right?
I don't think so. Cantarius and Theo, though. No, though.
Yes, right.
Say your question again, then.
Oh, so
you mentioned the Harbingers.
In the awkward, he senses the awkwardness about you guys and the whole desert thing when David said that you wanted to hear that if he asked you had any stories about it. Then Alphonse leapt in to save you from being awkward and regaled you with his tales of fighting the cultists and the Harbingers and demons. A very exaggerated version of what actually happened. But, yes.
But yeah, Cantarius and Theo, you guys hear the name the Harbingers, and that's who you've been hunting too. So.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. Okay.
Well, you've certainly been busy.
Yeah, does Cantarius or Theo say anything about that?
No, I feel like we don't want to just tell everyone.
Yeah, I don't think we want him to know. I don't think I want him to know. I don't know. I'm
trying to include you in the role play here, guys. You
I know.
help us out here.
Well, they're kind of like.
I'm kidding, guys. You're secretive characters. I get it.
Yeah, we're secretive. That's kind of why we're like, I don't want to say anything. I mean, we do want. Has Cantarius told you about the demons yet, or no? About the two guys in your
us? Me? No.
About the people he sensed? No.
Okay.
No.
So yeah, I feel like the conversation continues to go nowhere. When Alphonse is done, I say,
but yeah, that's why I'm back in Lucerta. I tracked him here. I don't know who they are, but they're here.
Oh, okay. There's demons in Lucerta, that's what you're telling me? And cults. Excellent.
Again. Right. We have the meme where it's the Stranger Things. Really? Again?
Well, that's, I mean, all right. I mean, I guess that's a good, why are you guys back in Lucerta then? I mean, I get that the Crows disbanded, but what brought you back here?
Cantarius
Theo's like holding his trident, and he grazes the edge of the sharp part, and he's like, we're gonna kill him.
Oh, you're also here for them. I guess that tracks.
Wait, us or them?
What? Them.
Them. Not you.
Okay. Whew.
I suppose, that tracks. It's what we've been doing since the beginning, I suppose. Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of important. I feel like we should probably tell Sergio that. There you go.
So I think, I don't know. This is difficult. I think I'm just gonna. I think he just answers.
Cantarius always is.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna be like. I think he kind of looks back and forth between, Theo, Antonius, and then Dellon and Alphonse, and it's just like, we are also here because we're hunting the Harbingers.
What a coincidence!
Yeah, Theo just said that.
Yeah, Theo just said.
But,
Theo just said that? Wait, what?
Well, he just said we're here to kill them too, or something like that.
Oh, he did.
And because I asked him what brought him back, and that's what he said. Yeah.
Are you listening to the conversation at all? Connor?
Yeah, he didn't say we're here to kill the Harbingers too. So I was assuming he wasn't going to explicitly go against what I had just.
Do you know Theo at all?
To be fair, we said demons and the Harbingers and cults and stuff, and then Theo just said them. So he wasn't.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, so that's fine. I feel like it makes sense for Cantarius to say what he said. Like he just like
to specify,
like specifying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I feel like this is something Sergio probably ought to know, considering there's demons and cults still in his city. So yeah, I mean, I suppose when we're done eating here, we can go tell him and round up the night. Do you know where they are? Am I just out of the loop here? I would say I feel like I've done a poor job, but I've been at war for a while, so I'm gonna take a pass on this and say it's not my fault.
I don't think he wants Sergio to know because I don't think he trusts Sergio.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you guys don't want him to.
This is so difficult.
I shouldn't
be trusting either. Then it just kind of reveals ourselves. Oh yeah, we're trying to hunt you. I don't think we want them to know specifically that we're onto them.
No, I mean, what do you mean? I'm saying we should tell Sergio that there are cults, and then we can.
We don't know. We don't want to stretch who we tell because we're not sure who to trust. Really,
does Theo say that?
I think that's what Cantarius is thinking.
Sorry, I thought that was in character. My bad.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I like Cantarius doesn't trust Sergio, and then also Cantarius learned that one of the bishops is possessed by a demon, so he doesn't know.
That's what I'm saying is he doesn't want to tell somebody, and then they're like,
he also doesn't
out, even if it's somebody we trust. We're just trying to keep it under.
He also doesn't know if he can trust Dellon at this point.
Yeah,
and I trust Cantarius, so I'm also not sure how much I want to tell Dellon because I'm like, hey, Cantarius, what? I'm trying to judge what Cantarius wants to say.
Right. Yeah, well, and I mean, Dellon shouldn't trust Sergio either, but he does. So
Cantarius is literally just like sitting at this table, just like brooding, just like thinking through, like,
what else is new? Literally 3 years has changed nothing. As far as Dellon's concerned. But yeah, so he's like, well, if we want to, basically it's just like, we should tell Sergio when we're done eating, and we can. Yeah, I guess the last thing I said was, do you guys know where they are? Am I just out of the loop? Is that?
I don't know where they are. Well, I know where they are. Is that they're in the city? They're in the city.
Okay.
Yeah. And I know who.
Oh well, I mean that's.
Well, that makes our job easy.
Wait, you know who the demon is, or you know who the demon's in? Because one of those helps a lot, and one of them doesn't help at all.
I know who the demon is in.
Oh, well, that's great.
I say he's bonded to. He uses the specific term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he? I mean, is it like Joe the Butcher, or is this someone we can find?
Dellon, why should I trust you?
With what?
This information.
Why wouldn't you? I'm literally a holy knight of the city that there's demons in. Why?
The same holy church, a holy knight of the same holy church that cursed all of us.
Yeah, you're aware that we removed all of that. That was the whole point of everything we did, was to remove that. And
don't dwell on the past, Cantarius.
Putting Sergio in so he could. I mean, it's not really working out the way we were hoping it would, but I mean, for other reasons. And I mean, you don't. I guess if you don't want the help of the entire city to chase these demons, then I guess you don't have to trust me, and I can just do it on my own. But that seems sort of inefficient, and I'm not sure what I've done to inspire your disconfidence here, your lack of confidence here.
Yeah, I don't know if disconfidence is a word, but I feel like
I don't think it is. Yeah, I don't know if there's a word for lack of confidence other than the phrase lack of confidence. I also don't really remember how our relationship ended, so maybe I did something to inspire lack of confidence. I don't remember. It's been 3 years and I've been divorced, so we'll just say I also forgotten character.
The last two things that Dellon and Cantarius did together was Cantarius was like, yeah, I think I'm going to die and go to hell. And Dellon was like, no, let's make sure that doesn't happen.
We had like a really meaningful conversation where you were like on a roof and you were like,
and then Dellon gave Cantarius a Bible to go out into the desert with, and Cantarius never read it.
Man, see, I shouldn't trust you. You're the bad friend here. No, I'm kidding. But yeah.
Anyways. Give me 1 second here.
Sure.
Let the conversation just move on to something else, I think.
Yeah, just
the
Theo
food comes.
Or Alphonse. Yeah, there you go. The food comes, and there's like an awkward moment of.
So I'm literally like, so you don't want the help of the entire city? I can just do it myself if you want. Food.
You said the opposite. Wait, you say lack of confidence?
Yeah, I said I asked him what inspired the lack of confidence, but I have not said that because he had to walk away. So I'll say that.
Well, I mean, you could. Sorry, say that again, Adam.
I just said the opposite was doubt. That's probably what
doubt.
Yeah. That's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you probably do say that, Dellon, but like the conversation, like the food comes, and so everyone like awkwardly looks at each other for a moment.
Yeah.
But then I would assume maybe Alphonse or Theo burst in with something else, like to.
By the way, I don't have any money.
What do you mean?
Yeah, Yuma, who hasn't been saying a whole lot in the corner, just like sighs and like puts a hand on her face, like, oh, Alphonse.
Also, when we talk to Sergio, I probably shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Are those two statements connected, or?
Yeah.
Why? Okay.
Yeah, I think Yuma says Alphonse has been borrowing a lot of money from the church.
Okay, for what?
He teleports, like, I assume they brought some bread. He like teleports the bread into his hand, and he's like this.
Oh, so Sergio wants his money back, and you're not going to pay him, and that's why you don't want to see him.
Well, I'm going to.
Right, with all that money you don't have, right?
Eventually.
Okay. How do you plan on making that money? I'm just curious.
Well, hopefully one of the demons is possessing someone rich, and then when we save them from the demon, they'll be very grateful.
Last time we saved someone from a demon, we did it by killing them, right? Isn't that
Han Solo?
Yeah, you were trying to like separate them, but it didn't work, and you just killed the guy instead.
Yeah. The last time we tried to separate someone from a demon, it didn't work. You're the one who's been doing this for 3 years. Do you guys figured that out? You can just do that now.
What do I know Connor knows something. Do I know anything?
No.
About
like the
demon
bond? Like what have I learned in my 3 years?
I don't think a lot. You haven't been focusing on that part of it.
Okay,
yeah.
Not very much. But if they die, that's a lot of free real estate.
If someone dies, then the estate goes to their next of kin.
Next of kin.
You don't just loot them.
We did to the that's what we did to the mayor.
Sorry, what did you say, Theo?
What
did you say?
No, I said loot their entire state from their pocket.
Yeah, from their pocket.
They just get the deed to their house and they're on their corpse.
Carries around.
Yeah. All right, and what did you say, Jared?
I said, well, that's what we did to the mayor. Oh, you weren't involved with that. Oh.
I don't remember. What?
Well, Oh yeah, that's true. Honestly, literally years have passed, and Alphonse, Cantarius, and Antonius have never told Dellon that they looted the mayor's house before.
You looted the mayor? Did we kill the mayor? I don't remember. I don't know what's happening.
He got arrested. And he got demoted.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, what? You looted the mayor's house? That you're saying? Or the mayor? The mayor? We didn't kill the mayor. What do you mean you looted the mayor?
Well,
Antonius looks at you. Alphonse, Antonius looks at you and like gives you the look like, come on, bro, be cool. Like we were going to go to our graves and never say that.
You snitch. Yeah. I guess I look at
me as a person just legitimately forgot that David wasn't privy to that.
I forgot that I remember the mayor now, but
David wasn't part of the session where we did that. And
I probably would have looted it with you if I was there, but I wasn't, so I can pretend that I wouldn't have. Yeah. All right, listen. You're not going to get the money by looting anybody. You understand? You're not killing anybody or stealing any of their money. All right. Now, if
maybe the new king's looking for
money. I mean, okay, you're after the Harbingers. This is an illegal organization. Anything they own would technically probably go to the church or the king, I guess, at this point. Well, I hope it's the church. So I don't know. Maybe you can convince Sergio that by taking down the Harbingers and sending their assets to the church, that's payment for, I don't know how much you owe, but presumably whatever they own, I mean, they don't own it legally. So
Ob 14's worth.
I don't know how much he owns. Yeah, so I'm sure it won't be enough.
He says the equivalent of whatever.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Alphonse.
Gale is expensive. You should know.
Gale doesn't know magic. What do you mean Gale's expensive?
Well, he was like half of. Yeah, there were some others.
Look, Alphonse, I don't know.
Don't worry, not a single septum went towards booze.
I don't know I can't help you with that, Alphonse.
I'm not asking for your help. I'm just letting you know that
apparently Alphonse is going to hire himself out as a bodyguard to the king, and
all right. Well,
we need someone to get in with the king, right? He's a suspect. He looks over at Cantarius, who has yet to tell us who the suspects are. He's just sitting there with a frosted glaze over his eyes.
Oh, he's back.
Oh,
yeah,
food now.
Here. You haven't described me how I'm eating it and what I ordered and stuff, or
sure, no. Yeah, no,
no, not good.
What you ordered? Yeah, what are we eating?
Yeah,
Caleb, what are we eating?
I don't know. What do you like eating? This is your servants. Yeah, sure.
Okay, that's what we're eating. We're eating roast ducks. Apparently, they found out that we needed a lot more in the time that it took for them to. I don't know.
They just killed a couple more ducks. It's fine.
Yeah, there you go. And I assume Maria is going to join us, right? For
probably not. I don't know. I think we can just say she's busy. Like, I think it makes more sense in this conversation. Yeah, exactly.
There's already enough NPCs who aren't saying, they don't have a chance to say stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I guess
I think everyone just looks to Cantarius, right? Like,
yeah. Dang, Cantarius has a choice to make.
What is your choice? Tell us.
What's the guy's name again?
Faustus Non.
Faustus Non?
Faustus Non.
Faustus or Faustus?
Faustus.
Faustus, okay. He just said, Faustus Non. He's the one.
Probably have no idea who that is.
No, you definitely do, Dellon. He's the guild master of Lucerta. He is probably one of the most important people in the city.
I didn't mean to imply that he's not important. I meant to imply that Dellon doesn't care and has been at war about economy.
I feel like if you've been in any of Sergio's meetings, you'll have heard of Faustus Non.
Okay.
Right? Like
I've probably been in at least one.
Yeah, you at least know the name.
Okay. Ooh. Well, that's, I guess, not surprising.
Like, I think Dellon would at least understand that, like, that means that the church can't just, like, go knock on the door and...
Yeah. That complicates things. I mean, I suppose a demon would pick somebody important. But we can't just... Well, we can't legally just go in and kick his door down.
There's someone else, too. What's that guy's name?
Bishop Armando Cole.
Gandalf, right?
No, not Gandalf.
Oh, yeah, that's his actor name. Is like Gandolfini.
Yeah,
is his last name.
Yeah. I'm gonna refer to that guy as Gandalf. No.
Well, but literal Ian McKellen is your father in this game, so
that's fair. That's more confusing. All right, sorry. What was his name? Armando
Cole.
All right. Well, sorry. You said his name.
Yeah.
Yes, I said both their names.
Okay.
What? Oh, he's the bishop. Okay.
Yep.
Well,
yep.
And do I know anything about this guy?
Yes. So this is the guy who was doing everything with Mario.
Right. Yeah. He was, Yeah.
Oh, well, double crap. Those are
that's
high-profile individuals.
Yeah. Yep. He smiled. He's like, well, that doesn't surprise me. Him, I think we can take care of. But yeah, especially with the king and all of that.
As of right now, Faustus's political position is like pro-war with the king right now. So
and we're losing powers to the secular power rapidly. Exactly. So our ability to move against him is decreasing.
Yep.
Which I guess I say, I mean, anybody within the church is within our jurisdiction. And as long as we have proof, it shouldn't be difficult to deal with them. But Faustus is going to be another concern. I mean, this would have been difficult before when we were a proper theocracy. Now, with the king here, things have changed as Sergio wished they would. But unfortunately, that means that this will be much more difficult. Because we can't just... I mean, if we can prove undeniably that he's a demon, we can move against him, but chances are very, very good that the king and anybody, which is pretty much everybody, who's related to Faustus will have an issue with it. So we'll likely end up just fighting the guard.
Yeah, and that's not like a war you can afford to start right now.
Yeah.
So that's why it makes sense. I set this up intentionally, so it makes sense that like the agents can do their thing like as you guys would do as adventurers, basically, right? But you can't use the might of the church to just like, attack them.
So I think. So here's my question, Cantarius. When I guess to the rest of you, we can probably move against Armando because he's under our jurisdiction. We just have to find some proof. I assume that's what you guys have been doing. You've been finding proof, I assume, before you kill people who are demon possessed, right? Just going to assume the answer to that question is yes.
Yes.
Excellent. All right.
We move against Armando, then Faust is going to know that we are onto him.
That's my concern. Do you want to save? See, the thing is, it will be more difficult to move against Faustus if he has an ally in the church in Armando. But if we move against Armando, Faustus will know that we're here, that we're that your people are onto them, right? So
we have to take them out simultaneously.
A two-pronged attack.
The question, I mean, we can delay against Armando. It's just a question of how much he will influence the church and assist Faustus while we pursue him. I mean, what do we do here? You're the demon hunters. You tell me. We take out the target we can, or do we try and lay low until we can try and, I don't know, take out both or take them out in quick succession?
I think if we take out the guildmaster, the other demon will run.
Right. I mean, that's bad, right? We don't want him to run. We want him to die, ideally.
Currently, I have one target. The other target is so much less of a threat. This demon that's in the guildmaster. He's very powerful.
Right, but it's also going to...
Currently, I have not been able to kill any demons, just destroy their bonds. And I think you guys know that too, right? Like nobody has any clue how to kill a demon.
Yeah, the research you guys did in season 2, like when you're trying to free winter, that was one of the things you discovered. Is like there's no way to like kill them. You just sever their bonds.
Does Narani know how?
I'm trying to figure out a way to kill them.
Yeah, I mean that's what Cantarius and Theo are literally doing right now.
Does Narani know?
I'm saying he's also trying to figure out a way to kill them. Unless you're saying we're both trying to figure out, but we haven't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Alf, you can ask her.
Oh, okay. I asked her.
Hey, do you know the answer to all of our prompts? That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hey, Narani, how do I kill a demon?
You saying that out loud?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I mean, if he's using faith, yes. You don't have faith.
He doesn't have faith, no.
Yeah.
I'm a favored, I think, so I could just talk to her, kind of.
You can talk to her, but like she has no obligation to actually give you anything. It's just like a conversation, right? So I think she literally says, if we knew that, things would have been so much different, Alphonse.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, thanks anyway.
Are you talking to a god at the dinner table? What's happening?
Oh yeah, I'm talking to my
just saying grace, you know.
Did you just say girlfriend?
Grace. Oh, you say girlfriend. Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, is Yuma here? Or is it just the boys?
No, Yuma's here.
Yeah, she's here.
Oh, okay. I say it sarcastically. Just to get a rise out of Dellon.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure I knew that, right? Didn't I know that? Oh, maybe I didn't know that.
We never settled that because I made the joke once early on, but then like everyone like convinced you not to just stab me to death. At that point.
It's something that like Alphonse was joking about and then never got resolved between the two of you. Yeah.
I don't want to know. All right, listen. Cantarius, the thing is, if we only pursue Faustus, then that gives Armando a lot more time, because it's going to take much more time to deal with Faustus. It gives him a lot more time to interfere. That was meant to be the end of the statement.
I figured.
Basically, are we okay with it being with giving Armando free reign in exchange for pursuing Faustus?
Yeah, because that's basically what Dellon was saying. Cantarius is like, if we, obviously the guy is more important, but if we don't move on Armando, maybe he'll do stuff behind the scenes to mess with what's happening.
I like the 2-pronged attack plan.
Yeah, I mean, we got plenty of characters.
Yeah.
To throw around. So,
and we're going to have a bunch more once I meet up with Gialina.
Yeah,
we'll have the church and if I'm correct, isn't she super powerful now? Like in the criminal underworld. She was middling, but after the whole,
she definitely got a leg up. Yeah, she got a leg up after the Cult of the Dreamer situation, but she's not like in like she doesn't have a monopoly on crime or anything.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
We've got the Holy Knights, Criminal Underground, and Demon Magic. Or Demon Breaking Bond Magic. Plus, if we keep the party together, it would be too easy. Well, I think we should split the party. I'm fairly confident I can ingratiate myself with the king's court.
And this is where the second problem comes in. I don't trust you at all, Alphonse.
Alphonse shrugs. You don't have to trust me, but I get things done.
Listen, Cantarius, you're in Lucerta. This is we have a lot of, it sounds like maybe Alphonse has spent his authority here. But if you want to get this thing done, maybe you don't need our help, but it's going to be a lot easier if you work with us. And I understand that our general shared past has been rocky, but if we're just going to be pointing fingers at each other and questioning everything, then this isn't going to go anywhere.
Connor, do you think that you are more like telling him so that, like, almost asking permission, like, hey, this is what I'm going to be doing, or are you asking for his help? Because I thought we were just like, hey, we're going to be doing this. We're not trying to like overthrow the government. We're actually trying to do something, stay out of our way, kind of thing.
I'm here to ask Dellon for help, but not Alphonse. That's why he's so uncomfortable. Okay. And but he also doesn't know if he should trust Dellon or not, given the state of the church with Sergio. Although, how much does Cantarius know about that? I'd assume that he was able to glean that from like the outside, right?
There's a lot. The church is not doing well, so and Sergio is growing more erratic. So you at least have heard rumors of this.
Alphonse gives Cantarius a sly grin, and he says, well, if you don't work with me, I'll be working on my own, and I don't think any of us want that.
It also just occurs to Dellon that Alphonse can literally say anything and do anything. He's like, actually, Alphonse, how well does the king doesn't know Alphonse, right?
No.
The king knows the Tons.
Yes, he knows the Tons, but I don't think he's ever met Alphonse. So the one person that the king has connections to is Cantarius. As a reminder, this is the prince who Cantarius, quote unquote, maimed when he got tried for treason. Cantarius was overseeing a building. It collapsed on the prince. He got hurt, and he was tried for treason.
You mean, not Cantarius, right?
It is Cantarius. Antonius is the one who got thrown in prison from another nobleman.
Oh, okay.
Who he wronged.
All right. I was like,
it's a different one from Cantarius. Yeah.
I think he says to Alphonse, like, if you can ingratiate yourself into the king's court, demons or no, that would be incredibly useful. So, I'm actually, that would be great. We have very little influence there right now, and you can convince anybody of pretty much anything. So that would be great.
Only if Commander Cantarius lets me, though.
He rolls his eyes.
He makes puppy dog eyes at you.
Yeah.
I think it all still comes back to Cantarius. Like, what is he going to do?
Oh, it for sure does. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so your belief says, I will recruit Dellon to this cause. Does this mean that you have a particular way that you want Dellon to be helping and a particular way you don't want him to be helping? Because we can have Cantarius like make a roll to convince Dellon, like, this is the way I want it done. This is the best way to have it done. Like,
yeah,
are you on board with this?
I'm fine with the split approach of like going after both of them at the same time. My concern is that the church is going to be involved with this situation. And that's what he's not.
Yeah, so you could literally like say to Dellon, like, hey, Dellon, this is my concern. I don't want the church involved in this. I want us to do this. Like, like we want.
We're getting the old Crow Inquisitors back, getting the old gang back together. That's the only
Is
way
that something that
that
Dellon could be convinced of?
I mean, he is tentative about. I mean, yeah. Well, why don't we have it in character? I guess.
Sure. Yeah. How do you say that, Cantarius?
Yeah.
We can play the conversation out a bit and then make the roll.
Dellon, I want to trust you. I do. I've always admired your determination and loyalty. I think that we can be good friends and good allies here. Except for your loyalty, except for where your loyalty is placed currently. I do not trust the church. And I'm surprised that you do, given everything that's happened.
What do you mean?
One thing I can't.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
One thing I can't do is leave the fate of my mission up to such an unknown. But Dellon, I don't think I can do this without you. Not without getting killed by the church.
Well, I mean, what do you mean by all that's happened? Sergio has done a lot to reverse the sort of things that happened to us. I understand, obviously, we all hated the church or distrusted them as an organization before when we were cursed. But, I mean, regardless, I mean, I can't act out illegally, right? At least not without some sort of, I have to have some legal justification for whatever I'm doing. But hunting demons, I feel like probably get a pretty good distance with that excuse. But I mean, if you don't want me to tell, I mean, we have a lot of resources at our disposal here, and again, they might not be so much help against Faust, but they would certainly be useful against Armando. If you're not willing to include those resources, we can try something subtle. Frankly, Faustus is much less likely to. Is it Faust or Faustus? Faustus?
Faustus is the guy.
Yeah.
Faust is the trait.
Right, thank you. Faustus is much less likely to catch on if we work alone. But that said, I mean, I still have my station to consider, and I can't just break the law. Or
that's why Cantarius and I will break the law.
I'm not going to stand by while you break the law either.
Well,
but I want to help you. Demons can't be living in the Lucerta for obvious reasons. I won't abide that. And
again,
yes, well, I didn't abide it last time either. That was the whole point. So I will help you, and I hope that at some point you'll come to change your mind about including the resources at our disposal here. But if you want to start at a small scale, that's acceptable, I think. I guess this was supposed to be a roll. Maybe I should have waited to agree until you rolled.
I mean,
is there part of this that Dellon hasn't been convinced of yet?
I mean, he doesn't think it's a good idea because he trusts Sergio, although Sergio's been getting weirder. But and
could I make a persuasion roll to like make you give weight to your suspicions? Like not to convince you that Sergio is like a bad guy, but
right.
To like for you to be like, maybe it is wise to be cautious.
I guess. I mean, the main thing for me is that like you haven't been here for 3 years, so he feels like he has a much better grasp of what's going on than you do, even though it's probably not true.
Yeah.
But he, from his perspective, he's like, you can't even really know what's going on. You haven't even been here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for him to believe that your opinion of Sergio and the church is more accurate than his, even though it probably is. So that's the only thing.
The more things change, the more they say the same.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, I guess if he has points he could make as to why he's suspicious of the church, other than what happened before, because again, Sergio's whole point is to change what happened before. Then maybe they could coincide with some of the weird stuff he's been seeing from Sergio. And
I was going to say, like, Cantarius's demon stuff is probably the angle to take here. Just be like there are so many demons in Ceran right now. Like, things are only getting worse. Like, I think the church must have, like, they're not doing their job. The weird things I'm seeing, where the connections that the fact that Armando is possessed, like that's a huge deal. Like the church should have known this. Like there must be someone else who knows that Armando is possessed and hasn't said anything, or like stuff like that, probably.
Well, because I mean, my thought was that that's just Sergio trying to recover from the fact that the church was doing awful before. Like, of course, there's bad stuff in the church. He just inherited a mess, and he hasn't fixed it all yet. But I guess the fact that Armando is possessed and
I was gonna say the role here could be Cantarius being like, no, the fact that it's still this bad means that Sergio hasn't been doing his job, or at the very least, someone hasn't been doing their job.
Sure, yeah. I think that's fair. And I mean, he's willing to be. He doesn't think it's a good idea to do this at a small scale because you could do it at a big scale, at least for Armando. But I mean, it worked before to do it at a small scale, so I think he's willing to do that. And also, again, you've been hunting demons, so you know better, that sort of thing. Anyways, so I don't think he's too. I don't think you really have to roll to convince him of that. But yeah, I'm interested to see. Although, don't you just have intimidation as a social skill?
No, I have persuasion now.
You do now? All right, cool.
Not anymore. He has a whole bunch of social skills now.
Sick.
So I'm gonna use persuasion because that's what this is. But I'm gonna fork in ugly truth.
Yep.
I'm gonna fork in rule of law to point out like the church's responsibilities and how they've been failing at that. And then
okay,
I think that's it.
Rule of law.
I'm going to fork in anatomy because I know more about the human ear than other people do, so I'm going to try and trigger ASMR.
Ooh.
No.
Can I fork in my court gossip wise?
Anyone who wants to help can help, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to fork in my court gossip wise. Just like, I've been hearing some strange things about what Sergio has been doing.
Sure. What is he trying to do?
Examples.
In the 2 days you've been here?
Yeah.
Not even?
Well, actually, Alphonse has been in Lucerta for a longer period of time throughout, at some point in the past 3 years. He was actually in Lucerta for a good year and a half, I think. What? Just never got in touch with you. Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't ready to challenge you yet.
All right, well, that's going to be a conversation we have. But, okay, yeah, never mind. And then
Alphonse, does Alphonse not trust the church?
He wants to trust Sergio still, but there's also enough evidence to where he's not very confident. And
by evidence, you mean you owe him a lot of money, right?
I mean, yeah, that too.
The fact that Sergio was even giving me this much money is proof that the church is corrupt.
I know, dude. For real. I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
If we're gonna,
Adam, you asked what Cantarius is doing right now.
I'm trying to
specifically. Is he trying to roll for?
I'm trying to persuade Dellon to be cautious about involving the church, and to be fine with doing this with just us.
Yeah, just
you guys.
So does he still want to, use the church?
Dellon currently wants to use the church. He would be fine with some part of what Cantarius is saying, but this is the role for Cantarius to get him totally on board with, leave the church out of it. The church might be involved. We need to do this ourselves.
Yeah, mostly I think he's trying to convince me that the church might not be trustworthy. Because right now I'm like, I understand you don't trust them, and maybe working at a smaller scale is safer and more effective right now.
I'm not trying to convince him that the church is evil. Or that the church can't be trusted. I'm just trying to give caution about it.
Yeah,
it's less high stakes,
right?
Because I don't think I could really convince Dellon of that in one go.
Yeah. I think it makes sense that the main thing that's happening here is action on Dellon's part to not only help you in the way that you want, but also to investigate the church on his own and make sure that he can trust them, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, so you're doing persuasion, ugly truth, rule of law, you said.
Mhm.
And then
That is it. That's all I have.
Alphonse is helping you with Court Gossip Wise. He said he added, like, I've heard rumors too. So Adam, did you want to add anything in? As Theo?
No, I was just trying to think of a way to, like, use faith.
Yeah,
I mean, you can use
enough.
faith to give helping die.
Yeah,
but I don't know what I'd say. Like, as
it might be a little awkward.
Yeah.
The gods have told me that this is true.
You're sitting right next to me,
Thanks for the
convinced
grub.
Dellon.
Also give Cantarius a bunch of bonus dice. Thank you.
Basically, is that when I help him out? Is that like a normal faith roll?
Yeah, it would be like either
You're
an
just
ob
rolling
2.
it.
Yeah, either an ob 2 to like open end his dice.
That doesn't do me anything, right? That's not a challenging, right?
Well, it's a higher ob to give dice, isn't it?
Yeah, and then there's sorry, I was just like thinking through what
is the base up for challenging or difficult?
So at 5, I think it's like 4 and 5 for you.
Yeah.
It's
not anything. It's not up to 4. I don't want to do it.
I was gonna say 8 is ob 4. So you're giving someone a +1 die to any skill, stat, stealth, steal, or health test.
So it would be a difficult test.
You just pretend to be praying for your food and.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be weird to Dellon.
I'm trying to think of what I would say to the gods.
You just tell them I mean, technically, what's being said here is accurate. You could literally just be like, open his eyes and give him wisdom or whatever. You know, it's a pretty common.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I'll say something like that.
So it's not like you're lying to me.
Please let him believe us.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I like the idea that you're praying for your food generically, but you're like give us wisdom, but you're actually meaning me and like help us to see the enemies in front of us.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna try it then.
That's fun. I like that.
He's gonna say, open his eyes, give him the wisdom to see the evil of the church. It's like
as you pray to your demon master.
And I'm like, why does Theo pray in the second person?
Open his eyes.
Cool. Yeah, go ahead and make a ob 4 faith test.
Oh, there's too many things in my way.
You can always spend persona if you'd like.
I don't want to spend persona yet.
Yep. Hey, still one away. Still a 50-50 chance if you want to spend a fate in it.
You want to show us how bad our luck is.
Dang it!
Literally the same roll you got.
Man, how is that possible?
So close.
You got a 3 again.
Maybe I should spend 3 in persona, man.
Yeah. So I think this is like it's probably just like the demon or the ancient dead god or whatever it is, right?
No.
He tries. Maybe he just doesn't have enough influence over Dellon's mind to do anything, right? To actually
go in your cards. You called him a demon.
Yeah. So Cantarius, make that roll, I suppose.
So my will is 6. I feel like the ob would be increased because I'm literally a holy knight, but I also think it would be decreased because
I think we'll just keep it at
watch Sergio do some sketchy stuff. So I figure it's probably flat.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so bad.
Okay,
goodness, how?
Do you want to spend a fate and
you have a
try
call
to?
On?
And I don't think he has call for persuasion.
Can I give Connor my call on him?
No, you cannot. Hey, Connor, Aura of Determination.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go. You might as well. You get that every session. You might.
You're all helping Cantarius like do this, right? I think that makes sense. Yeah.
So what I just
reroll? You reroll all the failed dice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's not just a flat reroll. It's failed dice.
It's all the failed dice. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was.
Do I?
Okay.
No. So let's say
he keeps that 1 success and then can reroll the failed dice.
Okay.
I don't have to factor in fate now too, do I? Since I don't really have the result of the roll yet.
You can spend fate after you do these call-ins, yeah, if you got any success.
So the remaining ob is 5, and the dice I'm rolling is.
Wait, I thought you had to spend fate before the call-on.
I don't think it matters the more I'm thinking about it. It's just that we have to keep in mind what dice were the original dice and what dice, like for fate purposes, like a 6 that rerolls as fate is still the original 6. It doesn't become the dice that it rolls after the fact. That's the only thing that really matters in this.
Right, but what if you use your call on and get more 6s? Then you could have more
I think it's fine.
rolls.
I think you can, yeah.
I mean, this is a die treat anyways. This isn't a call on, so I don't think this would matter because this is a whole different
thing.
It is a call on actually, but yeah.
I think it makes sense. I think it'd be better to spend fate now then, wouldn't it?
Well, you don't have any 6s to buy.
Yeah, just do the call on first.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. You have 1 6. So if you want to spend 2 fate, you reroll 2 failed dice.
Yep.
Oh, wait a second. Actually, you already. If you did it with fate, it was automatically open ended, so that 6 already rerolled. So that's fine. You basically you can spend 1 fate to reroll 1 failed dice now.
Shoot.
Yeah.
25% chance. Yay. Actually, it's probably less than that. It's probably a 12.5% chance.
I think it's 12.5. Yeah. So yeah, you can do the same thing with luck, right? And with the fate rolled there. And
do I have to spend 2 fate still though?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, it's as if you already spent the fate. Yeah.
Right.
You need 2 successes, right?
Yep.
I'm trying to think of what this looks like if you fail.
Well, I mean, you said you were still going to go along with like the idea. Right. It's just that you still trust the church, right?
You're right.
Okay.
Don't worry, I'll just roll a persuasion for this.
Yeah.
That's why I use the court gossip wise.
I think the avenue of persuasion has been closed.
Well, that's sort of the question for let it ride. I think is that same argument. I don't think would work, especially because you helped with the argument.
Don't worry, I have falsehood.
Yeah, if you had a wildly different argument, then maybe. But yeah.
I also have ugly truth that we could try.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could just like double down and be like, Dellon, it's bad, right?
Sorry, I'm trying to juggle.
Oh, except no, you forked ugly truth in.
Figure out exactly what needs to be.
I think because you forked ugly truth in, I don't think it counts.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
as in it does count. I can't use it again.
Yeah. Like it's already part of the whole thing here.
Can I use my call on trait to let Connor re-roll this roll as well?
No. Are you going to roll that, Connor?
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to juggle. My brain couldn't comprehend the amount of things I was trying to juggle.
So just go to do the same thing you did before with the fate, and remaining up to 1 die.
Okay. Of course.
Oh, you got a 6, and you still just got a 3.
Every time. We have not got? I think we've done 4 or 5 rerolls and not gotten a single success on them. I mean, like coin flip rerolls.
The success that matters.
Yeah. The last one. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So, I don't think there's anything else that can be done here. Cantarius has tried all he can. So I think Dellon he just trusts the church too much, right? Like,
yeah. Well, so I think I just say what I had said before, and I'm like,
yeah.
Listen, Cantarius, I understand that you and the church, I mean, frankly, all of us and the church have a bit of a sordid past, but I mean, Sergio has done a lot to change things. I mean, he's the only reason the king is in power, which I won't say is great, but it's what he wanted, and he's reduced the power of the church willingly as its head. And Cantarius even gone for 3 years. I mean,
yeah,
they had a lot of changes in 3 years, especially under Sergio. You know, someone whose whole point of joining was change. Not everything he does is. I don't understand all of it, but I don't know. I don't think you give him enough credit for what he's. It doesn't matter. We can do this small scale, but when it comes down to pulling the trigger, I think we'd be foolish not to make use of what we have. But we have a lot of work to do before that's an option anyways.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Connor, but I think this means that Cantarius will maybe trust Dellon a little bit, like to help out in some ways, but he's going to like withhold major trust from him if anything like super important comes up and you fear that Dellon might involve the church in it. Right, so you're gonna be like playing this game where you're gonna be like you'll accept Dellon's help, but like not fully trust that the church won't backstab you if Dellon tries to involve them, sort of thing.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, I mean, where does the conversation move on from there? I suppose Cantarius could double down and try to roll something else, but I'm not sure he has a good.
I mean, the only thing I could do would be command, and I can't command Dellon.
Yeah.
So
you can roll intimidation.
Yeah, I could roll intimidation, but if I
Dellon
lose, you
doesn't
just cut off my
generally
head. And
respond to intimidation very well.
Yeah,
But
I'm not gonna help out with that one.
You're on your own there, buddy. Here's one thing that technically could be done. It would be a terrible idea, but Theo could roll hypnosis with his faith.
God, that's fun. Oh wait, hey, was Yuma helping their role or Antonius?
Oh yeah, we forgot.
I totally forgot they existed. They totally would help. I will allow them to add some extra dice here at the end. I think it makes sense. It's just we forgot them, and we typically forget them. So,
Right.
So Antonius will help with his non-existent social skills. He literally only has intimidation.
So maybe just Yuma helps.
Yeah, and I don't think he wants to like intimidate you. So
no.
Yeah, I think it's just Yuma.
Got another coin flip to fail here.
Oh no, it's just Yuma. I think Yuma might just have. Yeah.
Your friends aren't very helpful.
She has command, haggling, intimidation. You know what? She's gonna fork in or help with religious history. Right? Like backing up Cantarius is like, no, they have a history of doing this. Like this is Okay. I'll go ahead and roll the one more die for
you probably need to update her and Antonius's character sheet as well, because they've been.
I did.
Oh, you upgraded?
I already did. I gave them extra skill points and stuff. Yep.
Cool beans.
Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna roll the fate thing again for Connor here. It will be open ended, right? Because he spent fate already. If it ends up helping. So, here we go. Hey!
It's a miracle. We won a coin flip.
I literally was not expecting that to happen. I was just like, of course it's gonna fail. Like, there's no way. Okay, yeah. I guess. Like,
right. So we'll rewind a second.
I like the idea that like Yuma is the one who.
Oh yeah, so maybe all that happens when she says something.
Yeah, right. And then Yuma says, like, she hasn't said much, right? Especially to you. So she says, Dellon, do you remember what we talked about all those years ago when I was teaching you the doctrine of the original Taconi cult? Sergio,
you refresh my memory.
He hasn't.
Oh, she's gonna say okay.
Yeah. Here, 1 second. Sergio, he's trying. I've seen it, but he's not making the changes that this place needs. The changes that would actually do something. And whether or not he can be trusted, if his motivations are in line, he's trying to think of another phrase that would. It's not that he can't be trusted. It's just that
not his motivations you can't trust. It's just his execution, right? Like it's not that
something along those lines.
His intentions are wrong. He's just doing it badly.
Yeah, he just has a different idea of how to go about this than you or I would do if given in the same shoes. And I think we both know that you can believe in a religion and not
maybe like you can believe the truth but not walk it properly or whatever. Like,
no, I think she was going to say, like, you can believe in a religion and not trust all of its adherents, basically. Right? Like, you can have a healthy, like you have lived your life in such a way to have a healthy skepticism of those in power. And you need to remember that now, sort of a thing, because like the history of your religion and mine have been fraught with this sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think it means more coming from Yuma too, because she's been like a victim of all. I mean, at my own hand, a victim of all of that, and so I think it's probably even as much guilt and like realizing that I was also part of that originally, just as much as like the Inquisition was. Yeah. That sort of helps him buy that. Now I also don't think that she's been here at all, right? But she has been.
Yeah, she has been, but you don't know that.
Right. Yeah, so I think, I mean, he agrees with that, but she's made statements about how Sergio has done. And so like he pauses and I think this, but how could you know how he's done? You haven't been here. You've been with Alphonse.
Yeah, Yuma glances at Alphonse and then says, we may have been closer than we let you believe. Some of the tutors that Alphonse hired were here in Lucerta.
So you were here in Lucerta.
You're talking to Alphonse at this point?
Just generally, yeah.
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 And Yuma like sighs and she says, Alphonse had this whole idea about not wanting to confront you until he was ready to defeat you in combat. I thought it was dumb, but that's what he said.
So yeah, he just kind of shakes his head. He's like, it's just like exasperated. He's like, all right, well, whatever. Like we'll do this your guys' way, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. And I mean, yeah, it's not very committal in conversation, but yeah, I think he's. It's true that he doesn't have any like. His track record for working with people in power has been pretty bad, and Sergio's been acting weird. So yeah, I think that's a good enough argument that he'll buy in.
Everything seems to be working out too well for our favor. In our favor. I feel like the knowing who the demons are and then getting Dellon on our side, like the two big gonna take the first half of the season goals in my head, and now I'm like, what's coming next?
That's typically how role-playing games go, is like you have an idea of something taking way longer, and then either you fail and the whole narrative completely shifts away from it, or you succeed and then you're like, okay, well now what?
Or you're like, this will take one session and it takes 8. But the other thing is, this is basically all just been getting the group back together. So it's probably great if it doesn't take too long.
Yeah.
So, I mean, other than finding the demons, that was, but all of this has just been convincing characters who don't like each other very much to work together. So I feel like this has been good. But and us finding the demons just means that getting to them is going to be way harder than it would have been otherwise, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the plan from there, right? As you guys then start to hash out what this looks like. We don't even necessarily have to do it in character, though we could if you wanted to.
Out of character, I think it would be an awesome idea. Like because we were doing the pincer maneuver, right?
That was one suggestion, yeah.
I think it would be awesome if Cantarius and Alphonse had to go get the king guy, get in the king guy's court.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Dellon wants Alphonse to do that anyways because there's a huge
just how we split the teams. I think it would be great narratively if it had to be Cantarius and
when I was
Alphonse working together.
Making notes for this this arc, the 4 fronts that I have going right now, the 4 major threads that need to be pulled, right, are the war, right, which is make sure that Ceran doesn't go to war again and get its butt kicked, and / this is all connected to the king getting power, right? That's his play that he's making to make sure he has power. There's the church, right? And whether or not it can be trusted, whether or not it can be reformed, whether or not Sergio's what he's doing is bad and needs to be stopped. That's the second thread. We have the third thread of the cult itself, right? The harbingers, and they need to be stopped. And then the fourth thread is the order stuff. I'm planning on bringing in Hia again and connecting that to everything that's happening right now. My original thought was that Cantarius is focusing on the focusing on the cult. Theo is focusing on the order stuff because he was really interested in the artifact stuff, and I have ideas to tie that back in. Dellon obviously is the church, and then Alphonse would be the noble court, which is the war, basically, right? Does that make sense to everybody?
I think that works.
Obviously, there could be crossover and stuff, but I think that makes the sense for who's focusing on what out of those 4.
Yeah. I still think it makes sense for at least character-wise and theme-wise for Connor to be involved with the king stuff since he has direct.
Yeah, the thing that Cantarius needs to do is figure out how to how to find the weak points for Faustus Non. And if the whole thing is about Faustus is an ally of the king, right? That makes sense that he would be part of your thing to find the king's allies, find their weak points, be able to figure out where Faustus sits in this and how to do that stuff there.
And I think Dellon and Theo going together, I mean, we'd all come back together for fighting the Harbingers stuff, just the initial, the layout before more parts get added. I think that would be interesting, but feel free to
I like that idea.
Make other suggestions.
Well, if you think about it, the way that those four fronts coincide are actually really related, because Dellon has a lot to say about Theo's faith in the dead gods, and I have a lot to say about the king. So
I was going to say
those mix really well.
Once Dellon finds out that Theo's gods suck, that's going to be interesting. I have an instinct that's never take that. So that's going to be interesting.
I just feel that would be the most interesting.
No, I agree.
Way to separate the groups.
The typical groups would have been just Cantarius, Theo, Alphonse, Dellon, but that's going to be so one-sided because Alphonse and Dellon take the stage so often and do super traumatic stuff with their gray shades. I think it makes sense to split it up this way. I don't think Theo would be involved in the king court stuff, so that I think that
he would care about
that makes sense as a connection. And obviously they're all interconnected, and so there'll be crossover. But I think as a general who's sticking together right now and doing stuff together, it makes sense to have those be the split points. If that makes sense to you guys.
It makes sense. Connor wouldn't trust Alphonse to be on his own.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, does that make sense to you, Connor? Where it's basically you have to keep an eye on Alphonse, and so because you did. I don't know if you heard, but you succeeded the role. He has his headphones on, so you can at least hear us.
Okay.
You succeeded the role to get Dellon on your side with Yuma's help. So you can trust him now, right? It's just Alphonse you can't trust.
Yeah, that makes sense. Agreed.
Cool.
My only question is, does Theo have good social skills?
He does. Now he does, at least.
I have
all of his
ability.
practice.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't. And if we split off where both of the people with social skills are in the same, then that's not going to go well. But all right, if you got them, then we're good. The only thing I can do is command and a little bit of persuasion. Well,
etiquette too. So
and persuasion.
Yeah, Theo has etiquette, persuasion, command, oratory, intimidation, seduction, inconspicuous, and soothing platitudes. So,
jeez, all right.
Good Some stuff. Of those are really low, but he has them.
Well, yeah. So I have a few low ones too. All right, cool, good deal. Then I think that sounds fine. It'd also be nice to see a different dynamic because
that's the thing I'm most interested about is Cantarius and Alphonse having to do stuff together and Dellon and Theo having to do stuff together. It's just not the normal pairing. So I guess the question would be, where does Yuma and Antonius go? I'm thinking Antonius goes with Cantarius and Alphonse because Antonius used to be part of the guilds and would probably have connections, or at least he could circles up someone who he could try to get in contact with to learn more about Faustus and figure out what's going on with the guilds right now.
I think Yuma would just come with us too. I don't think she wants to be involved with David's nonsense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm fine with that.
Do we have any other NPCs that we're forgetting about?
No, not that are like coming with you.
Gotcha.
Why don't we take Antonius?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Yeah.
Oh, you did say that. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Antonius has connections in the guilds.
We need as much help as possible.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Especially since I think we're going into the arguably more dangerous physical threat.
We'll see. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I have a question as far as completing beliefs goes. Mm-hmm. If I have a belief that I want something to get done and I send in Alphonse to do it, does that count?
I don't think it does because it's not actually a resource on your character sheet. Like if you had a relationship with an NPC and send them to do it, that's one thing. But Alphonse
made a role to convince me to do it.
Yeah, so he has a thing. You're thinking of the Maria.
Yeah, because I'm not
going
to gonna do that now. Basically, but they are. So and he's better. So I might as well be like, hey, here's a good starting point.
The plan I had with that, I am still way more interested if Dellon does it.
Okay.
Because of the situation there. So I think even if Dellon decides, Alphonse, hey, go do this stuff for me, I think he should still do that. Okay. I think he should still do the one thing that Maria asked him to do first.
Can I have him come with me?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I know we decided on the split already, but I feel like
we don't need to split the party immediately.
Yeah, or permanently, I suppose.
Or permanently, exactly. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I just the way the way I set up the NPCs, I think it'll be way more interesting if Dellon is there. Sure.
Are we doing 11 or 11:30? 11:30, right?
11:30. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we should just
bang out some beliefs quick.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should figure out like what the next plan is and get a good sense of what everybody's actually gonna try to do. Theo, let's see. I'm gonna look at my notes real quick for you. Yeah, if you had succeeded on that faith roll for guidance, I would have had a great way to pivot here with you. I think probably what's going to happen is I'm going to have Achia like get in contact with you. That'll be one of the next things that happens with Theo. As Achia will come back in town and be like, "Hey Theo, I got some stuff to talk to you about." Yeah,
heard you are looking for some artifacts.
Yeah, exactly. So
what are you buying?
What are you buying?
So that's what I know is going to happen there. I think. Okay, so here's my vision for the next session here. I think Alphonse, you wanted to go to Giolina and get like her help, right?
Yeah.
So Giolina was the one who like helped Achia get out of the city, and I think they've actually been in contact somewhat over the last 3 years. And so I think what's going to happen is Alphonse will go to Giolina, talk to her. Giolina's going to be like, "Hey, by the way, Achia's in town. She was looking for you guys. She wanted to like talk to you guys." And then Achia is going to end up talking to Theo about like artifact stuff from there, right? That'll be the connection that happens.
Can my magic guy be with Achia?
No. We don't need to throw him into this. We have so many NPCs already. I like him too, but he's just too much. Dellon and Alphonse can go talk to the official, the noble that and technically Cantarius can come along with that too if you wanted to, right? But Cantarius for you, right? Like I assume it's going to be trying to figure out demon bond stuff. What do you think is like the next step for Cantarius? Because obviously Alphonse and Cantarius are going to do the King's Court stuff, but I don't think that's going to be next session necessarily. I think we're going to do a couple of things before that actually starts in earnest.
Okay.
Are we going to do different sessions since we're splitting up now?
No, we can do the same. We'll just split half and half. We'll and I think the crossover will be enough between the multiple characters depending on what's happening that it wouldn't make sense to do that anyway. I like I'm fine with the possibility of doing other sessions if we wanted to and having just a couple people there. If we like had a thing where it's like, okay, Dellon and Theo are going to do this whole big thing and it's going to take a while. Let's just do one session. Let's just that on a different day or something. If we can finagle it, that could be a thing. But other than that, because right now you just like all your belief. The only belief that's still relevant is just like increasing your skill with the intellectual discipline. So we need to figure out what Cantarius wants to do next in specific. My thought was that maybe you could just have like you and Antonius go, because you were technically a craftsman too. We can have you guys go dig up some guild contacts, right? And try to get back in touch with that world to get a better idea of what Faustus is up to.
Talking to me?
Cantarius.
I was like, I'm not a craftsman.
Okay, yeah, I didn't understand. Say that again.
So, I'm thinking for you, Cantarius, probably the next step might be Antonius and you go dig up some guild contacts because you were both like craftsmen and stuff. Because Faustus Non is the guild master of Lucerta. That's where he gets his power. And so you might be able to find some people who know Faustus and can give you more information on him through that avenue.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Are we down with that being like the next steps for everybody?
Yeah.
Cool. And then from there, right, we can move on to, Dellon and Theo doing order/church stuff. And I think this will actually be a good pairing Dellon and Theo there because Dellon has Min still in like a prison, so you can talk to him about order stuff, get reconnected back with all that stuff.
Is the order like heretics?
Probably, at least under the old regime, they probably would have considered.
Like, would Dellon try to arrest Achia?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, the last time I ran into an order, they attacked me during my wedding and started a huge war. So I don't really know that the order's like super up on my friends list.
Yeah, but I don't know if you would just arrest Achia offhand.
Well, no. I mean, I probably don't have the legal justification for that, but
yeah,
she's
technically a Serrano citizen, so
yeah. But more that I don't know if I would like them very much off the top. Like,
yeah,
probably wouldn't think highly of them. But
just like, how's your marriage going?
Yeah, right. Hey, I heard you had a good wedding. Hey,
how's that marriage of yours?
Yeah. So
there'll be a whole thing there.
That'll be interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. I think we can get most of those, if not all of those things done next session. If we put our minds to it, right? We can talk to Jelena, get in touch with Achia, talk to the official that Mario wanted Dellon to talk to, and then dig up some guild contacts with Cantarius and Antonius.
Can I try and find that guy this session so I can at least get paid for that?
Sure, yeah, and we still have some time, so we can do a quick thing here. So yeah, Dellon.
Circles.
Yeah, do you want to make a circles roll? That makes sense. Like, because it's not even that you couldn't find him. It's just like how well the meeting is.
Yeah.
Like, what's the tenor of the conversation to start off with, sort of a thing.
Do I get? I mean, I have 2 dice at the church and 2 dice as a commander of the Holy Knights. Can I use both of those? I mean, one's reputation, one's affiliation.
You can use, I would say, nobility and the commander of the Holy Knights can be used.
Isn't? Oh, he is a noble, right? I thought for some reason I was thinking he was a church guy. Okay.
Nope. This is just a noble guy. This is a noble guy who could go like Marius, like like we need to make sure he's firmly on our side.
Yeah. And then what's the
good question.
He would noble born or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say you both have born noble, so it could be same life path. I'm thinking Ob 2.
Oh geez, okay.
Just for like his additional disposition and stuff.
Okay, never mind.
Whoa!
Wait, I got all 6. Wait, no. Wait, what?
All except 1.
Okay, yeah, that was more dice than I thought it was.
That's
but yeah,
crazy. Add them to your circles and you get an extra die when you're talking to him in the future or trying to find him in the future.
Where's that? Oh, here.
So this guy's name is Oberdon True.
Wait, sorry, real quick. Do I put him in? Where's the circles? I see relationships.
There should be like a circles aptitude thing there. Let me see. It's in character info. Circles, just right there. Like add 1 to circles below relationships.
Oh, it's just empty, so I didn't see it. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Are all these people related?
Huh?
Who?
The Trues?
Yes, the Trues are related. Well, it depends on who you mean, actually.
Is he related to Achia?
I don't know. You wouldn't know that necessarily.
Kylea True, there's Asia True, and now there's another True.
So Kylea, well, actually, that'll come out. It'll come out.
Okay.
Sorry, what was his name?
Oberdon. I'll go ahead and show him.
How do you spell? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, he's played by Dennis Quaid. So older dude.
Head of the family. Just all
neat haircut. He's head of the True family. Yeah.
Not the false family.
Yeah. So this is a prominent noble family in Lucerta. That there's a bunch of, like, I don't think the wife is around anymore, but this guy has a bunch of sons, a bunch of daughters, has a lot of influence. Is the plan for Dellon and Alphonse to go?
Yeah, I guess
talk to him.
Yeah, so I guess I'm like, when we're wrapping up, I'm like, Alphonse, before you go gallivanting around the city, I had something I needed help with, if you don't mind.
Anything for Brother Dearest.
Thanks.
Cool.
What are we doing?
We're gonna go convince a noble. I guess. Well, we're gonna go. Do you want to do it now? We're gonna do this next session, right? We're just gonna find him this session.
Up to you guys.
I mean, if I can get Persona for it, I will. I don't want to take all the time though. So,
what do you guys think?
Anybody else have something they were wanting to do?
No, I think this is fine.
As in, like,
yeah, go ahead.
Just do the scene now.
Yeah,
okay.
Might as well.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I like this. I've been wanting to do this scene. So Oberdon, True, they'd be at one of those manor houses in the noble estate there, right? I guess Dellon and Alphonse just show up. Is this like the next day or that evening?
I just figured we could go. Well, I guess we just had dinner, right? Or was it lunch?
You had lunch, yeah.
All right, then yeah, we just go today.
Yeah, okay. So you walk into the big manor. It's one of the bigger estates here. And let's see here. Servants obviously like lead you in. And one of them basically says, yes, of course, Dellon, or Master Tan.
Does Alphonse say yes?
Yes.
Yeah, he's definitely talking to Dellon, but yeah.
Exactly.
I know.
Yeah. He gives you a glance and then looks back at Dellon and says, Lord True has been waiting for you. He's quite eager to have a conversation. Quite eager for your meeting, I think he says.
Excellent. Did I know he was waiting for me?
You knew that Maria had talked to him, and literally, like, Maria had basically told you he asked for you specifically. He was like, I need to talk to Dellon about this.
Oh, jeez. Okay. All right.
So.
Yeah. He just nods. Glad I'm not interrupting anything.
Yeah. And so one thing that happens as you're walking to like the sitting room or whatever you're going to meet the guy in, you see I think you see the table. Okay, so I'm imagining it's probably like the dining table,
Right.
but it's like hasn't been set for dinner yet. It's probably pre-dinner, so it's just like him sitting there, maybe like opening a letter with like a letter opener. This guy. So yeah, again, getting past middle age into a little bit older than that. Neatly trimmed. He has a lot of wrinkles around his face, like that for smile wrinkles, but like he's the sort of person that when he smiles, like it always seems fake, or disingenuous in some way.
Doesn't touch his eyes.
Yeah. So he looks up and says, yes, Dellon, it's so good to see you. I was hoping we can have a conversation man to man.
Shoot, I already forgot his name. Sorry. It was
Oberdon.
Oberdon. Oh, it's Oberon, but with a D. Okay. I can remember that. Well, I guess I wouldn't call him that though.
Lord True.
Yeah. Okay. Lord True, it's a pleasure. I was surprised you asked for me specifically.
Well, I knew that I needed to talk to a high-ranking church official to really get things done around here. The conversation that I want to have here today requires a little bit of authority. I need to be talking to authority.
All right. Well, I'm happy to hear what you have to say.
And he glances to the side and he seems slightly surprised to see Alphonse there. Because like I think like he's probably met Alphonse before. Like right. All the nobles know each other. And he frowns and he's like, I didn't realize that a certain twin brother was back in town.
Yes, only briefly. Already caused quite the stir, as you might imagine.
I heard something about that. That was you? He looks at you, Alphonse.
I'd say it was more us.
But you instigated the whole thing. I heard there was a duel to end all duels in the cathedral.
I believe officially it was we were testing the response time of the Holy Knights of the arena.
Yes, of course.
Unofficially, my brother jumped me. But anyways.
From in front and then from behind.
Don't say it like that. That's awful.
Yeah, he's just shaking his head like, I don't want to know. So, now what I wanted to talk about.
Yes, please.
Was a matter concerning the church and the nobility. As you probably know, things have been changing in Lucerta, and I want to make sure that my interests are probably being looked to as a important member of the ruling elite in Ceran.
All right.
Now, the church has been useful to me in the past. Quite useful, in fact, especially for the disposal of bastards. But its power is waning. And I need to ensure that in this little struggle that's happening between our dear king and let's just say between the scepter and the circle, and he's referencing like the two things that Valerio was holding when he got in office, which is the scepter, which is the secular authority, and the circlet, the half incomplete circle, which is the church. Between the scepter and the circle, that I am, and he just pauses. He like trails off, and he was about to say on the winning side, but he doesn't have to say it, right?
Yeah.
And he looks and says, "What can you do to ensure that I am rewarded for my staunch loyalty to the church?"
You said he had a lot of kids, right?
Yes.
How many?
And
when
he mentions the disposable bastards, like, you remember, like, you at least heard something about this guy, like spawning a bunch of illegitimate children and then sending them off to be monks or nuns or whatever when they don't.
So you said that, and I'm like, murdered? What? I thought he meant like offing them. All right. I was
no. You would know what he meant. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good.
And it would be a common thing that nobility did, right? Where it's like, I have too many children, I'm going to send them some of them to the monastery.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But he has legitimate sons too, right?
Yes. He has one particular legitimate son that is probably like the guy who's going to inherit everything. His name is Furio.
How old is he?
Furio is 25.
Did he fight in the war?
Yes. Dellon, do you want to make a circles roll for me to see what you actually know about this guy? And like, if you met before or whatever? Furio? You can, I honestly think it's just going to be an ob 1 because he has a bunch of life paths that are similar to yours.
I fork in my core noble line.
You can just fork in your circles or help with your circles.
Oh, really? Oh, dope. Does Commander of the Holy Knight Church or Nobility? I would assume Nobility works. Just Commander of the Holy Knights help? Probably not.
I think just the Nobility.
Just Nobility? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, oops, shoot. I meant to...
But yeah, only ob 1.
I tried to fail that. Actually, no, I got 3 out of 6. That's okay.
Yeah. So, Dellon, Furio True is during the war.
On my thing. Sorry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, yep.
Okay.
It's just if you get over the obstacle.
Oh.
So, during the war, one of the things that happened, or at least maybe in the last year after the war or whatever, you've heard something about the prince, now the king, Valerio, putting together his own knighthood as like sort of a rival to the holy knighthood, right? Like an actual like noble knighthood, like a normal kingdom would have. Yeah. Furio is like the poster child for this. And with that circles roll, you know that he has been itching to fight you for like a year. He's never publicly announced this or anything, but like you've heard rumors that like this guy is just like itching to like prove himself as a better fighter than you, so that he can prove that like for the king's sake, right? Like I'm gonna be like the king's knighthood is better than the holy knighthood. Like that's his whole thing right now.
I have that totally. I was gonna be like, hey, you don't want your kids to go back to war and die, do you? But it sounds like that's off the table. Yeah. So okay, in that case,
is this Aichia's dad?
You don't know. You know he has the same last name, but you have you can ask.
I'll wait for a good.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe I'll just bust in with that.
Do you happen to know a non-named?
Yes, you could. Yeah, I guess maybe it's she could just be one of his bastards, I guess. Mm-hmm. But then she wouldn't have his last name. I assume. But okay.
Oh yeah, but so
yeah, he said what do we do?
You were asking about his children, and but the last thing he said was basically what can you do to ensure me, like how well am I going to be rewarded for being loyal to the church? Like
right.
He wants to talk to you because you're like a high up ranking member who could convince Sergio to like give him a bunch of money or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think he says, well, of course, the church is known for its charitable donations to those who assist their cause. But, I mean, money is so impersonal. And frankly, I have no jurisdiction over the
treasury
fine details of that. Of course, I can suggest it to Sergio, but that's his domain. But on a more personal note, you have a number of sons. One I know, Furio. The other, how many sons does he have that are legitimate total?
I don't know, like a handful, and that maybe like one or two more that are younger.
Okay.
Yeah, that are like legitimate.
Yeah.
A lot more that are bastards.
Right, of course, yeah. I mean, I suspect he only cares about his legitimate children, which is why I was asking. Furio, I hear he's been wishing he could, I don't know, duel me, try to prove something.
Yes. He has the itch to prove that he is a better knight than you, I think.
Yes. Well, I could arrange that duel, but also, if possible, our order does not want to engage in this war. Ideally, this war will not start again because, well, frankly, we didn't fare any better than the other place. What are they called?
Shoei.
Shoei. We didn't fare any better than Shoei, and while our new king has a silver tongue, I don't know if his steel is quite as sharp. And I don't want to find out by losing the lives of my men, and I suspect you don't want to find out by losing the lives of your sons. So this is what I propose. The Holy Order intends to, if possible, abstain from any kind of muster should the war restart. And while I suspect Furio is more than eager to rejoin the war and would probably not be interested, your other sons, perhaps they could take up the church's sword, maybe in competition with their brother, some healthy competition, of course. I could see that they're inducted into the order and give your son Furio the duel he wishes, among whatever donation the church seems fit, of course.
Yeah. He thinks about that a little bit, and I'm trying to think, is that good enough to make a roll on, or would he add something to this? I think he'll add like another stipulation.
Sure.
Trying to think of what it would be besides just like money.
Yeah, because I mean the other side is that if he takes a side against the king, he doesn't want to be in danger, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. He needs influence and stuff too. So
I think I'll add to that like, it's much more difficult, or it would be much more difficult with members of the Holy Knight Order in your family and the King's Knights to for either side really to influence you unduly. You would have stake in both, and I suppose there's no better way to be sure you're on the winner's side than to be on both.
Yeah, I think that's good enough to make a roll. It does sound like Dellon's making the roll though, so Alphonse
can't wait to fail this roll.
Yeah.
I can give you +2 for the persuasion I'm about to hit him.
Well, how does Alphonse add to it?
True. Oh, true. I recognized your name. I believe you are already in our debt. We saw to it personally that your daughter escaped the city and all the kerfuffle that revolution brought.
He frowns. He's like, when have you ever talked to Aza?
Not that one.
Which other daughter do you mean?
The one involved in the secret organization, blah, blah, blah.
He looks like so perplexed. Like,
yeah, I give him a look too. Like,
Achia?
Achia? Oh, I haven't spoken to her in years. I assumed she was still a nun.
Oh, well, forget I said anything.
No, I don't think so, Alphonse. What are you talking about? A secret organization? What has my daughter got herself mixed up into? And so he has confirmed that Achia is his daughter.
Now it seems we have something you want.
It's like, I see what this is. Alphonse, you always were a sharp one. I admire that. And so, yeah, go ahead and make the roll. And yeah.
Okay.
But now that's part of the stipulation is you'll tell him about the order, I guess.
This.
It sounds like a persuasion, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Just going to be against his will.
+2.
What do you say, Adam?
Was he persuading him to do?
Join with the church in the coming conflict, basically. Like, don't side with the king.
Start the war again. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the base?
His will is 6.
Oof.
All right. Let me see. I got forks here, I'm sure. Can I use... I didn't really do anything doctrine related here.
You could. It's not too late.
You could add something in.
Yeah, I guess... I mean, I kind of did, but I was leaning into the secular side of it, like the more secular benefits of like being in the church. I guess maybe less suasion and more doctrine, because like I guess my idea was that if he had someone in the Holy Knighthood, that gives him sway, and I assume that there's...
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. We can fork that in.
Thanks. And then single combat wise, no, never mind. I have a person on my side. Jeez. I mean, I have ugly truth. I did mention that his sons might die in the war if it starts.
Yeah, we can get that.
Okay. Maybe I should make an ugly truth. That's not really an ugly truth roll, though, is it?
No.
All right. So I've got 4 extra.
You spend your 1 persona.
Yeah, I might. Although this isn't a sword roll. I really need to save my persona for those. We'll see. I can't fork reputations or affiliations, can I? Can I?
Not into just straight rolls. I'll give you an advantage die for your reputation, though.
Okay, sweet. Thank you. Oh darn it! I already passed that. Persuasion. Where'd you go? There it is. Okay. So that's 2 from him too. So that's okay. All right. Base out is 6, I assume.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, so close. 2
6s. If you want to spend 2 fate, you can reroll 3 dice.
I will do that. So this is on persuasion. 2 fate.
Yep.
How do I know? Oh, because I just opened it. This is routine.
Yep.
Okay. And here we go. Oh, I forgot there's a fate button. Just use the thing that I just. Meaning I'm 1, dice 3. 3 right now. Okay. Oh yeah.
There you go. Cool.
I succeeded a social roll, guys. Dellon did it. It took 3 years of practice, but I did it.
Yeah. So he nods and he says, "You're a good man, Dellon. A very good man. I think that we can come to an accord here. I will be in touch, and I can give you a number as to what charitable donation might be required. But I believe it will be sufficient for your purposes. I don't think it would be too much to ask. And as long as you fulfill your end of this bargain, I will fulfill mine. For now, Valerio has lost a loyal servant. I can't speak for Furio, though. He's still totally on his side. You'll probably have to duel him to really put him in his place there. I don't know. Maybe you can convince him to be a holy knight if you beat him up.
As long as that's not something you wouldn't mind. As long as you're not opposed.
No, go ahead. I beat up my children all the time.
Gosh, I hate this guy.
No, he's a terrible person. Yeah.
Yeah. When you said you designed him for this, I was like, either he's gonna want to fight me and it fits, or this is just someone Dellon would hate, and you're gonna see if I'll kill him.
Yeah, it was mostly that. But then I also had the son who wants to fight you. So
right, yeah, perfect. Hedging your bets. Yep. Well, just let me know when Furio wants to meet, and we can satisfy that part of our agreement.
Yeah, and then he looks up and he's like, "Well, I suppose you can tell him that yourself now." And Furio's like standing in the doorway and just grimacing at you. And he's like in his armor. He like is dressed up as a knight right now, and he has a sword. And he says, "Dellon Tan." And this guy's
time like the present, I suppose.
Yeah, you just fight him right now.
I mean, not right now.
Now
but...
that you rolled the social skill, I have to fight. I have to roll the sword skill.
I got this, Dellon. Yeah.
Yeah, you got wait. In order to fight the Holy Knight, you got to get through me. All right, you got to prove yourself worthy. And then you just absolutely annihilate him. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I am almost. Wait, do I have an instinct for this? Let me check.
He's played by Dylan O'Brien. He has like a mop of
nice.
like kind of brown hair there, 5 o'clock shadow. And he's just staring at you and he's like pointing at you like, you, Dellon Ton.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I look at him, I'm like, since I'm like the president, I suppose. And then I'm not wearing my armor, I assume, because it's the middle of the day.
Yeah.
So I say, if you've nothing else to do, Mr. Lord, I guess he's also Lord True, right?
Yeah.
Lord True, I mean, it will take me some time to put my armor on, but meeting back here in half an hour.
And
unless you have somewhere you prefer.
He's so surprised that you're just like totally on board for this immediately. Like he was gonna like bluster and be like, you're too coward to fight me. You wouldn't do it, sort of a thing for a while, right? But when you say that, he's just like, and then his father speaks up. He's like, duel him, boy. I promised Dellon that I would set it up for him. And
technically, I promised him. That's funny.
Yeah, right. Furio like continues to be a little flustered, and he says, "Well, I have to sharpen my sword, I suppose." And he seems like he's a coward. Yeah, I was gonna say he seems like he's about to try to like push it off. But yeah, Alphonse, yeah, do you want to make a test here, Alphonse, to like goad him into?
Would that be conspicuous?
Conspicuous might work.
Or either that or persuasion. Those are the only two I can think.
I want to help him I am like, Alphonse, you have my old sword, one of the best I've ever seen. He can use that, right? It's sharp.
Yeah.
I think the court gossip could beat this whelp of a boy.
Jeez. Oh my God.
Okay, yeah. I think you're rolling oratory because it's less about him being convinced and more about all the servants and his father and his everyone like his reputation's on the line, right?
Yeah.
I also have oratory.
And I think for additional effect, he's probably with like another noble friend of his, like around his
like his
age.
girlfriend or something,
or that or something. Yeah, so he just has like
someone
he has to impress here. So I think it's an oratory, right?
Okay, cool. He's with his girlfriend too.
Sure. Yeah, let's say that.
Can I throw some seduction in? I want to seduce the girl he's with.
Sure. I think that makes sense because you're basically threatening him with it. You're like, I could get your girl if I wanted to. Yeah.
Perfect.
Sure.
All right. Can I throw in etiquette because we're talking about like the etiquette of the duel and him like backing out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. 100%.
Okay. Noble wise, court gossip wise, because I'll be like, imagine what the court will say when they hear that you chickened out.
Yep.
And conspicuous because I want everyone to hear.
Yep.
Okay, so 1, 2,
nice.
3, 4.
Maybe you should just give the speeches
5, 6.
against the king guy.
So I have.
Get up on a podium
what's his will?
4.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna murder him.
All right, good thing I get 2 dice for seduction.
Is it a 7?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, could I do persuasion too? That's an extra 2.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, you have 7 in persuasion too. You're a monster.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have 8 persuasion. Whoa.
What? Wait.
Just a second. I get 2 more from my persuasion.
You got 6.
So many ones.
And you don't have a call on for oratory, I'm sure.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I do get 2 more from my persuasion because I didn't add that in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
those are the only thing that makes it work.
And if they weren't gray, they would have been both fails.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man,
so many ones.
So literally, he's about to say no, and then you look at his girlfriend, and he's like, "Ah."
Yeah. Exactly.
That's amazing.
That's so funny,
dude. I can't. So many
charismatic is a call on for oratory.
I think usually
you have to choose one.
Yeah.
You chose persuasion. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so he says, all right, sounds good. We'll meet back here in an hour.
I mean, unless you'd like to take your armor off, we could do it now.
No, an hour is fine.
The boy's too worried that you're going to hurt.
An hour's fine.
I roll another to make him do it now.
No. I think he looks at you and he says, proper etiquette demands that we both wear armor. If this is a proper duel.
All right. Suit yourself. Literally. Here we go. I'll be back in an hour.
Suit himself, literally. Amazing.
Yeah, all right. I mean, I'm gonna make that my thing for next time. Because we're out of time, and also then I'll have something to do next time that I can do easily.
Yeah.
So
there you go. Cool. Yeah, I think that's where we end. I think the last thing we do see though is Alphonse, as you guys are leaving, a red-haired woman is walking like through a corridor or whatever and is nearby. And she looks like that. She's red-haired. I keep unplugging my headphones for some reason.
This is the other daughter, right?
And yes, this is the daughter he mentioned. Alphonse, you've met this woman 3 years ago when she was training with Gale with swords.
Cool.
This is news to me.
Yeah, it's in the episode. It's like in a bonus episode that we've all forgotten. But yeah, so she's played by Deborah Ann Wool, and she looks like
I get to duel her.
Red hair, sort of thin. She's not wearing her sword or anything like that. She's just like in a noble woman's dress or whatever. But she like notices you and like raises an eyebrow.
Do I know?
I don't know if you say anything. I don't think Dellon does know.
Okay. I guess you just nod then and keep walking.
Yeah, unless Alphonse says anything or does anything, she just like gives you a look, Alphonse, and then
I give her the seductive eyes.
Just on reflex, you don't even realize you do it.
Yeah,
and she blushes and just turns away and walks briskly down the corridor, right? And I think that's where we
want to invite her to watch her brother get his butt kicked.
Oh yeah.
You want to do that?
That's a good idea. Oh, hey, Asa, it's been a while. Would you like to join us in watching your brother get his butt kicked by my brother?
She turns and she's like, I'm sorry, you're doing what now? Fiorio actually agreed to the stupid thing?
After some prompting.
Or sorry, she would say Dellon actually agreed to the stupid thing? Okay, because Fiorio was the one who wanted it to happen. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I don't say anything because she's talking to you, but
okay. I thought you were gonna.
Yeah, no, I was just curious if I overheard that or not, because I'll stop and listen to the conversation if I hear my name. Yeah, good.
Well, it doesn't take too much effort to squash a bug. Is he still? Is he still in the room? The other guy?
I think we were leaving, right?
Yeah, but I think he overhears you and huffs and like stomps away with his gal. And I think Asa like gives you a smirk and says, I suppose I've always wanted to see Fiorio get wrecked. Let's do this. I'll see you there, Alphonse. And she walks away.
I just look at you and I shake my head. It's an instinct, isn't it? You can't help it.
There's no such
I literally
thing
have
as
a
too
trait.
many allies.
Yes.
Allies. Yeah.
How do you think
Allies.
I'm still alive?
Well, yeah,
I don't know, especially with all the STDs you've gotten.
What? Dude, I got rid of those with the essential discipline.
Yes.
Well, I think that's where we close our episode. And let's go ahead and do Earth and get out of here. All right, Cantarius.
Excuse me.
You recruited Dellon to the cause.
I think. What's that?
You recruited Dellon to the cause. Congrats.
I did. I think I completed 2 out of the 3 of mine.
Hey, you increased your skill in intellectual discipline too, right?
Yep, increased your skill in intellectual discipline, and I recruited Dellon to the cause. So that's
the third one kind of moved on.
There.
Like Alphonse took charge of that situation, and there wasn't anything.
Yeah,
else
I didn't really.
going on there.
Yeah, it's it's difficult coming up with beliefs with such that have to happen in one session, because it's like you have to know exactly the stakes, or else something like that just gets moved past, which is fine. It's not a big deal. I'm just trying to catch up to Alphonse,
That's another thing that I think helps with having our beliefs done early is then Caleb can construct
Prepare.
situations where that can happen. Whereas when we do them at last second, he has to just kind of go with it.
Yeah.
So
for instance, yeah, that's a good point.
And it's definitely easier once we get like into it, because then
I was gonna say now we have like a whole sandbox open to us, and
instincts say I've always be on the lookout for the bonds that tie demons to the physical world, always offer forgiveness to those who repent, and always be on the hunt for demons. I don't think anything, I don't think really got into trouble at all. So
no.
And then same with traits. I don't think anything really did. Aura of Determination, does that count for the what's that reward, like the move the plot forward reward or whatever?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Cool. Have a trait makes the story more interesting to move the plot forward. Yeah.
Is that Fate or is that Persona?
Fate.
Sweet. Okay, I think that's it.
Do we think Cantarius got any other like extra Arthur awards, like the humor, right skill, right time, embodiment, mold breaker?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, I don't think so. All right, Dellon.
Leafs. I haven't seen Alphonse in 3 years, and now he's building magic to try and kill me. I will make him explain himself. I made a roll. You just didn't let me.
Yeah, I'll give you a fate for it. Like, it was interesting to watch and stuff, but like, there's just no stakes there.
Oops,
really.
that's the wrong. Okay. All right. Wow, those buttons didn't do what
I think you got a Persona.
Yeah, me too. We haven't heard word of what happened to the Crow Inquisitors, and now they are in Lucerta. I will discover what has become of the cult they constructed. Kind of the same thing.
Yeah, so you can get a fate for it.
Okie dokie. Meridia is working to turn this country against reigniting the war. I will sway the officials she has designated.
You did it. I was actually surprised that it worked.
Yeah, me too. I passed the social roll. Who would have thought?
And he's going to be a pretty powerful ally. Like, I was planning on him being a pretty powerful antagonist if you failed to.
Sweet.
So yeah.
Cool. On my day of my life, I didn't mess with the king at all. No, I didn't do anything determining anything about the king. I did mess with the king, but I didn't like find anything out about him. Although
I'll give you a fate point for it.
Okay, thanks. As I say, this guy might help with that because and I can beat up his best knight.
I'm going to give you a fate for never go unarmed under any circumstances.
Sweet.
I think the idea of like you being there ready to go to duel. Yeah. Like that was interesting. So fate for that.
Thank you. I don't think the others came up. Traits. I didn't get in trouble, so I don't think any of the traits are they.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Cool. Alphonse.
Hindsight is 2020. I will talk my way out of the fallout of my duel.
You did it.
Did that. Delete. Get out of here. I haven't done anything with Giolina yet. This demon has eluded me for too long. I must find a clue as to where to look next. That's done.
I'll give you I think it's just fate. You didn't like actually make a roll to.
I made a bunch of I assisted a bunch of roles related to this with like Cantarius.
Yeah, again, I think I'll give you a fate for it. But not a full Persona. This I like to give Persona when like stakes are actually on the line. You've had to like sacrifice something or like had a chance of sacrificing something, and then you earn it.
What was this for? Sorry, I didn't.
The demon has eluded me for too long. I must find a clue as to where to look next. He didn't actually make a roll or anything on like. Cantarius just told him, "Hey, it's Faustus. Let's go." Right?
Yeah, it was kind of the same thing that happened with mine.
Yeah, I think just fate for that.
Always find a reason to use my powers. Always try to surpass Dellon.
Did you make a roll to help make Cantarius trust you? I can't remember if that was a thing.
I just added dice to tertiarily roll or help rolls for convincing you to like and stuff for like the church.
Did you actually make a roll?
I added to Connor's rolls.
Yeah, that's the point that I'm making here. Is like you didn't actually.
But technically, he opens himself to the fallout of a roll if he helps and it fails. That's a sacrifice, or that's a risk, right? Right.
That's true. I guess we're setting the precedence for this.
Yeah, I guess that's the question. It does helping somebody else, because there is technically risk there.
Yeah,
but
yeah, because my criteria are usually you have to make a roll or spend a resource, right? And so I think the idea of opening yourself up by offering help dice and having the stakes there, I think that counts. So Persona.
All right, cool.
And I made it so I couldn't help with persuasion.
Yeah. I'll give you one for Rabble Rouser. right?
Is
like
that
for the
fate?
Furio thing. Yeah, it's fate.
Okay.
But I think that's probably it for you.
You have an instinct for flirting with people?
He does not. He has the licentious trait, but he didn't get into trouble.
Can we? I mean, the only reason that he got that guy to agree to fight me is because he was flirting with his girlfriend, which normally isn't the thing we would know, but because of the way the dice worked, we did know that.
Sure, I'll give him the fate point for like
well,
interesting, move the story forward.
Yeah,
sort of thing. Yeah,
not getting him in trouble thing, but yeah.
Yep, sure. All right, Theo. Theo.
Is it beliefs and instincts?
Yeah, beliefs, instincts, and traits.
I don't think I did any beliefs. I must transcend to a godhood. I will work towards increasing my faith. I didn't.
You tried. So you get a fate point.
Oh, okay. I suppose.
Yeah.
A new patron has offered me power. I will work to return him to the physical realm. I did try that also.
You try fate point.
And failed. And then there are no gods, only demons. I'll find a way to kill those who wrong me. I haven't tried to do that yet.
You haven't tried that yet.
Instincts, never give up a chance of power. I don't think that came up. Always trust Cantarius. I feel like I did because I don't really trust Dellon either. But I trusted Cantarius to go to Dellon and
follow him to my house.
Try to convince him.
Yeah, I don't think like it came up enough in the story at all for it to be relevant enough for like Artha. It's obviously there in the background, but like there wasn't ever a moment where Theo was like, Cantarius, we can't trust this guy. Like, but I'll trust you if you, you know.
Maybe we can have that moment when you're like, when we split off to do something together and you're like, I don't want to be alone with Dellon. Maybe we can have that conversation.
Yeah. If you want to pursue that next time, we can do that. Right.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't think any of the rest of it came into play this time. I have definitely plans for you, Theo. Next time, we're going to have some dead god stuff and some order stuff for you to interact with. So I think it'll be fun. Cool. Yeah.
Etiquette for persuasion.
I'll say again.
Can you use etiquette for persuasion to fork in?
Yeah, certainly. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's certainly a good one.
Is Faust usually for a faith roll?
It's like bargaining with a power for something, so it could be a faith roll, but it could also be like there's a special skill called bargaining. Like if you ever got a chance to just talk to a god face to face, you could use it there. But yeah, typically for you it would be faith. But it's when you're trying to get something innocent like love. That's when you get the extra die. So if you ever do that, yeah, you can get an extra die.
You just get the die, or you get the persona.
You get an extra die, or no, actually, sorry, yeah, it's a persona. That's what it is. I was getting it mixed up. You get a persona point,
and then get a persona if I succeeded, right? I only get it if I succeed, right?
I think it's just when you do it. Let's take a look at the trait real quick.
Why?
It says, when bargaining with higher powers for something pure and innocent like love, gain a bonus persona point for each agreement you strike on behalf of the one you seek to protect or affect.
Well, if I roll for faith, I would have to succeed because I would have to succeed.
Yeah. You'd have to make the deal.
Although I wonder if you could fail and just strike a bad deal and it would still count.
Maybe. Yeah, it would depend. All right, cool. Is there any other last like of the extra Artha stuff that we want to hand out for anyone? So humor, was there an in-character game stopper humor moment for anyone?
I remember Jared making me laugh. I'm trying to remember what happened.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of too. Was it when the guard showed up?
Oh, yeah,
with the conversation.
The whole thing with like, oh, this is a test. That was pretty funny. Yeah,
let's give that to him.
Yeah, I'll give it a fate point. It's a fate, yeah. Did anyone have right skill, right time? Having a skill to make the story go forward. Usually it's like an obscure skill.
David with circles? I don't know.
I don't think that counts. It's everyone has circles.
Yuma with
yeah, sure. Yeah, Yuma with religious history. I'll give her a fate point. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, she gets fate points.
Yeah, NPCs can get fate points. Yep. We just don't spend like hours trying to give them anything they could possibly get. It's just if we think of them, we can give it to them. Did anyone get embodiment or mold breaker? Really good or distinctive role playing or going beyond the bounds of the character, having like beliefs and instincts conflict.
I mean, there was a lot of Cantarius being conflicted about what was going on and him trying to like.
But I feel like it was mostly just Connor not knowing what to choose more than Cantarius like playing it out.
Maybe. I guess. I was imagining Cantarius is also very conflicted and pausing a lot, not knowing what to say. And so I guess it felt like it fit to me, but I guess it's up to you.
What do you think, Connor?
I mean, I think I deserve it.
Well, and also it was a little like going against his instincts. It was also what I was saying, and that he sort of, not maybe his character instincts, but like his actual ones, but like just his instinct not to trust people and not to trust Dellon and stuff. But he came to my house, whatever, and did all that.
Yeah, for sure. I came to Dellon's house. That's scary.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. You can get a persona for that then, Cantarius. Cool. I think that is it.
Did you add your persona point for recapping, David?
No, you don't get that. That's for Torchbearer.
What?
Oh, wait.
Yes.
I thought we did do something like that.
No, that's Torchbearer. You guys.
Well, I know it wasn't a real rule, but I thought we.
No.
I could have swore we had something.
No.
For recapping.
It was just Torchbearer. 100% Torchbearer. It has an explicit rule in the game. That's what happens.
I know that, but I feel like maybe it was a different campaign.
Never done it.
I feel like we had something. I just remember a long time ago recapping stuff. Maybe it wasn't this game. I don't know, but
yeah, we do not get persona points for recapping. No.
All right, I gotta go. So.
Yep. Well, we'll go ahead and call it there. Thank you for playing, guys. We are out.